disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing. Let's do it.
All right. Had to end that one abruptly there. Welcome everybody to another BD Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. There's your good friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment, but hopefully you guys can help me remedy that. As you know, today is Open Lines Friday, which means anybody can join the show via the Discord panel. If you got something to say, now's your chance to say it. And let me tell you something, you should have a lot to say because there's a lot going on in the boxing world right now. Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson have signed on to fight. Both guys have signed on as of the latest updates. So that fight's taking place April the 30th. I know it can't come soon enough for a lot of people out there. Canelo, one day he says he's going to be, or there's rumors that he's fighting Bivol and then Golovkin. Then all of a sudden, no, nothing signed. It still could be Jermall Charlo. Meanwhile, Demetrius Andrade still wants that Canelo payday. But Benavidez, David Benavidez that is trying to get in the middle of it. So, man, there's a lot going on right now, man. If you guys want to talk about it, you're free to jump in, and I would encourage you to do so. Before we get down to the fun, however, let's get the business out of the way. Fellas, you know the drill. If you want to keep this gravy train rolling, you can certainly do so by donating via the Super Chat. Although it does help us out more if you join the BD membership program. That way you get special emojis and badges, a little bit more bang for your buck. But the most important thing is that you continue to like, subscribe, hit that like button, spread the BD gospel. You know how you guys know how it works. What do I gotta keep telling you? Oh, and also, if you want to check us out on Spreaker, iTunes, and Spotify, you can certainly do so over there. Listen to the past episodes at your leisure. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Rafael Garza is in there. Shout out to Rafael. Epadokua. John E. Kegisel. Hard Recoil. The Quags. Kenshiro in the house as well. Shout out to Kenshiro. Knockout Ned. I don't want a channel. Intergalactic. Punch Smollett. Tupac 13. Brandon Lee. SG Pass. And many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Let's get right down to it. Here we go with the Discord. I'm going to show you guys how to join the Discord in case you've got no idea what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. That's not it. It's very easy. You don't have to verify with an email address. You do need an email address, but you don't have to check your email and, is it working? Okay, now I'm verified. No, just username can be your email address. Put in the password. Don't forget what the password is. And boom, you're inside the Open Lines Discord there. All right, so let me show you what it is. Here we got the Discord. All right. And if you go to your left, you can see there, it says voice channel. See that? I'm highlighting it here. There's already two people. There's Soothsayer and T140. All right. So just click on the speaker icon and you should be in. All right. And if you got any problems or you encounter any problems, God forbid, just let us know in the Discord and either Bucho or somebody will help you out. If I can't do it, somebody else will. All right? Let's go inside the Discord here and see who's there. Yo, fellas, we're on the air.
Either Bucho or somebody will.
All right, hold on a second. Now T1, I gotta mute you right off the bat. I can hear. You got your. You got your speakers on. Soothsayer. No, sorry, not Soothsayer. T1. You got your speakers on so we can hear everything. All right, who do we got here? Intergalactic, Brock Lockley, T1, Soothsayer. Fellas, thank you for joining us. How you guys doing?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, let me tell you, because we got an open lines panel here. I just don't know. I hesitated a little bit there because I don't know what to start off with. What do you guys? You tell me, man. You want to talk with start off with the Shakur Stevenson Valdez, Canelo, who he's fighting? You tell me.
Hey, I just want, before we talk about boxing, man, that was amazing. I still can't get over Fighter Spirit having his a true introduction. I know he was asking for one. You gave him one.
Well, he wanted it. He stepped up and grabbed it, man. So we had to give it to him.
Hey, much love to Fighter Spirit. Much love to the Discord. Much love to Bucho. Much love to BDA. Let's
Shout
go.
out. Appreciate it, Soothsayer. All right, so you know what? Let's start with the Shakur Stevenson news here. Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez. They are set to fight on April the 30th. Apparently, they've signed the contract. It is going to happen. I'm assuming it's going to be on ESPN. That's where all the top-ranked fights take place. So before we get into the whole who beats who or who has a stylistic advantage, because we already talked about that, who are you guys rooting for and why? I'm curious.
I'm rooting for Oscar.
Not rooting for the cheater. That's for damn sure.
All right.
It's between. Listen, you can call him a cheater, but Shakur's a woman beater.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. He's a woman beater.
Wait, hold up. First of all, Shakur beating women, that's out of the sport. That has nothing to do with boxing. Right? Valdez.
Come on.
Let me talk.
One at a time. Yeah, one at a time. Let MMA finish.
All right. So Valdez popping dirty, that is in boxing.
That's less than
that
being
has
a woman,
something to
though.
do
Who
with
cares?
boxing. Oh, wait.
He's a fuck if he pops dirty. He doesn't beat women.
Wait.
Hold on,
I'm about
fellas.
to be
Hold
done.
on.
I'm about to be done, right? And Shakur beating women has nothing to do with his performances. It doesn't affect his performances. Now Valdez using PDs and getting caught drinking that herbal tea, that affects his performance, right? And that gives him an advantage other than the other opponents that he's fighting. So I mean, that does have something to do with boxing. But you saying Shakur's woman beater, that has nothing to do with boxing.
So let me just get this straight, MMA champ. So if it has nothing to do... All right, go ahead, Brock Lockley. Go ahead.
Oh, get out of here, man.
Yeah, somebody's breaking up. Listen, I wanted to ask this then. But before I do that, we already got a super chat. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds here. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. Chris K, a.k.a. Undercover Asian. He says, heart says G, head says Canelo, clear 8-4. Let's see how Triple G looks against Murata first. Let's go, truckers. Let's go, Brandon. All right. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution. Yeah, we'll get into the Canelo Triple G thing if once we get done with this. But okay, so if I'm getting it correctly, MMA champ, you're saying as long as it has nothing to do with the boxing world, it doesn't affect who you root for, right?
That's ridiculous.
Let me say something. First of all, why are we acting like we're, watching, what's the name, Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Second of all, we're fans of the sport, right? So why do we care what they do outside the ring? I care how they do inside the ring. Hold on. So I'm not saying I can
root for a guy like goes around kicking puppies.
Let me speak.
No, because you talk a lot, motherfucker.
Yeah, Intergalactic's right. We get your point, MMA champ. But let's go with Intergalactic. Intergalactic, what do you have to say about this?
You don't have to like the fighter. I mean, who gives a fuck about boxing? What if he goes around kicking puppies? You still gonna root for him? Fuck that.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is because what he does outside the ring, I don't care what he does, and it doesn't matter because I'm not saying I condone what he does, But that has nothing to do with boxing. Has nothing to do with what he does inside the ring. You could like the same thing with R. Kelly. You could like his music, but not like what he does.
Dude.
Yeah, but I got a counterpoint to that. And again, I'm just food for thought. Music, it's not a competition. This is a competition. It's two guys fighting each other, and ultimately, most people tend to pick one guy over the other, or to root for one guy over the other. So, wouldn't conventional wisdom say, "Well, I'll root for the guy that's less of an asshole"? Because again, we got to keep it in perspective. Oscar Valdez,
exactly.
People don't like the fact that he got caught with a PD, despite what WADA said or whatever. He did get caught with a PD, and then he had the goal after the fight to go, well, I've been through enough. Stop get off my back. I mean, that really did piss. That pissed me off.
Mr. VDA, that woman that was beaten by Shakur Stevens, what did she do though? That's a real question.
She disrespected a proud black man.
You're looking for context. Ucho, you need context to for a woman to beat her. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, listen. So if a woman, right? Wait, say, I'm not saying this was head, but say a woman
smacked around. But it's all right.
Let me ask you a question, right? Say a woman punched you in the face multiple times. I'm not saying she did this, or would you say, "Oh, I don't hit women. I'm just gonna let her hit me in the face."
She didn't do anything like that.
How do you know that, though?
Because there's a video of it. They were just talking shit.
He's a boxer, though. You're not going to punch a woman if you know how to box. What are you going to do? You're going to clobber her face just because she fucking tapped you?
No, that's
get out of the way. Leave.
It's not defense. You could defend yourself.
You can read the article.
I get that. But if you punch the girl and you know how to box, you're going to lay her out. You're not going to.
You're not going to fucking lay her out.
And I do have to wonder, though. I do have to wonder who okay, I know Valdez. Okay, let's say you don't root for either guy. Is that a good compromise? Not you don't root for the woman beater, but you don't root for the cheater either.
That's true. But real quick, BDA. So I just watched that video again. Shakur Stevenson never lay hands on a woman. He was beating up the dude at the gas station, but one of his friends definitely did put hands on a woman, but Shakur didn't do that.
That's not what I saw. I saw the video. He hit her.
Well, I guess you saw what he wanted.
Does that change anything then? He beat up a fucking civilian? Like, that's still bad.
I mean, if somebody's messing with you, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Also, right, you know how many of you guys' favorite fighters, legends, or women beaters are terrible people? You know that, right?
Didn't Canelo beat up some 122 pounder?
Yeah,
he beat up.
Yeah, he
that's what I'm saying, though.
He beat up a midget.
Yeah. So just
a little guy. Like that's
outside of boxing. You don't.
These guys are fighters. They're not angels.
But you don't think all these guys are on something? They're all on something, dude. So if you're gonna just grab onto the other dude doing some fucking
but
Roy, just everybody's on it, man. If you don't think everybody's on it, you're delusional,
there's
man.
Proof that Valdez is on something, though.
Hey, man. So basically, you're saying that since he's cheating, everybody should be cheating too, right? So it's okay.
That's what's happening, though. But not everybody goes around beating women, though.
If
we know everybody's on it,
didn't beat a woman. Why do you keep saying that? He never touched that woman.
Well, I don't know why I'm watching the video. I'm sharing the screen with you guys right now, and if you watch closely, he tried to go. He did try to punch the guy, but he actually ended up clipping the woman. Hold on, where is that part?
That's you see.
So was that on purpose or?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's no such thing as collateral damage. It's a street fight.
Wait, what do you mean?
Collateral damage?
Wait, what do you mean? It doesn't matter. If it's by accident, BDA.
Oh, come on, he's punching.
So the girl.
Okay, attention doesn't matter.
So
you're in there, dude. If you're in the car when you do the drive-by, your ass is going down with them.
Everything you do
that's the law.
To be held against you. Like,
I mean, if there's
all this stuff that you did by accident, should it be held against you?
Yeah, man. Look, listen. There's a woman in front of him, and the guy still has the goal to punch through her to get to the other bald dude that he was beefing with. I mean, that to me just is indicative of a guy that has no impulse control. If it were for boxing, I'd be willing to bet that he'd probably be in jail for something else. So,
but you don't know what was said, BDA. Maybe he spit on him. You don't know what happened.
It's been about 2 years.
Maybe so. You know, guys sensitive about their moms.
One at a time. It's been about 2 years since this happened. And Shakur Stevens never said that, well, he attacked me first or he spit me. All I'm saying in this video here is them walking up to this guy here who's with his... but who's this woman with the big tits? She keeps popping up. All right, see, there you go. He punches. She actually clips the girl. This woman with the big tits, though. I'd love to clip that girl with the big tits.
I didn't see Shakur land one shot on a female during the whole video.
Yeah, because he sort of missed, but look at this. Boom. See there? Clipped her. He clipped her.
So now he missed, but he actually never even hit her. Okay, thank you.
He missed.
Hey, hold on. So, hold on. So I'm look at this video. So he actually missed, and the woman moved her head by herself. There was a ghost punch. Look at this. Boom.
Sometimes these fans need to get their ass pulled. They do a lot of talking. So, sometimes they need to get
I don't know. Can I say something though, Rare Breed? It seems like you're trying way too hard. Like nobody's
like
defending.
Cops need to beat down everybody just because they talk a lot of shit. They should beat everybody.
Yeah. If you're at a party, man, and if you're at a party and you have an argument with one guy, and you go up to them and swing at him with a piñata stick, and you hit his girl, are you no longer an asshole for that?
Did you hear what BDA said though? He swung and missed, so he never actually hit her.
Wait, that's not what I said. I actually hold on, fellas, please don't make me. I'm gonna have to start muting people. I didn't say that. Number one, I think you're listening to what you want to hear. I said you can tell him you can see Shakur punching at the guy, and he clips the girl behind the head. So it's a clear hit right there. So anyway, it seems to me like, look, listen, some people are trying to justify what Shakur Stevenson did. Well, maybe they spit on him. Maybe they called him an ass. Maybe they didn't put talcum powder on his ass the way he went to.
Showing this?
Was that?
Showing the facts, bro. What do you mean? What are you trying to do? He's trying to show the facts.
There you go. Are you against the truth, MMA champ? MMA champ, are you against the truth? Is that what you're telling me? You don't want to see the truth.
Why does these guys? Why?
You want to live in a fantasy world, is what you want to do, MMA champ.
Wait. Why does what these guys do outside the ring have to do with boxing?
Hey, MMA champ. MMA champ.
Do you care?
Hold on. What did you think about when Conor McGregor slapped that old man?
That was funny.
That old man was talking.
Listen. I thought
he did actually intentionally, though. That's different.
Let me rebuttal. I thought it was terrible, but I'm a fan of him inside the cage. So I'm not saying that I condone that, but that has nothing to do with what he does inside the cage.
There's a big difference, though.
Tell you guys.
Conor McGregor did that shit intentionally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
this motherfucker swung.
If you look at him in 108, he does.
I care what he does inside the ring. Like, there's a lot of you guys' favorite fighters who are women beaters, who are all this type of stuff, right? And you still support them. So
most people know that. Most people know that Lomachenko is one of my favorite fighters. I don't remember him ever beating up a woman. Now, let's just establish this. So let's establish this. Rare Breed and MMA champ. For them, a fighter can do no wrong outside the ring. All they care about is his skills and the color of the skin. That's the most important thing. The color of the skin and their skills.
I'm sure some of the reason you guys support Valdez is
this guy said that he can slap her around because he was talking shit. It's like
BDA is misconstruing my word, bro.
I can say the same thing because you're Mexican.
Wait, why are you twisting my words, BDA? Did I ever say that?
Don't bring that shit up, bro.
Did I ever say that?
You always do that, though, bro. Every time somebody talks about a black person, you're over there fucking, oh, no,
what are you talking
that's
about?
not it.
First of all, I never said how you can do the wrong. I'm just saying, what does that have to do with boxing? We're talking about boxing, right? Why are you bringing up stuff they do up outside the ring?
MMA champ, the community is going to go to shit if you keep supporting people like this. I'm telling you right off the bat, fuck Valdez and fuck Shakur Stevenson.
Stop even talking about Shakur then if you really care.
I do care.
Well, I'll say this. I support Shakur. If you don't like it, get over it.
BDA.
Well, there you go. Rare Breed is at least Rare Breed is being honest. He supports the women beater, but MMA champ, you're trying to separate that and go, well, outside of boxing, who cares what happens? As if it's happening in a video game or something. This ain't GTA 5. They're not playing Minecraft.
Then stop supporting all these fighters who hit women before.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I've said it before. I've said it before in other episodes. I root for the guy that's not an asshole.
All those fighters in the past are like assholes, like. Like
yeah, but don't talk
Duran
about
probably
hands on the woman.
did whatever. You know, they're all.
You know what? It
assholes. I
seems
mean,
to me.
like,
It seems to me like some of you guys would have rooted for Joel Scott, the guy that ended up raping and beating up a 90-year-old
Yeah, why
homeless
are you
woman.
being naive? You don't think that some of these other fighters have skeletons in their closet? Not
But,
everybody.
okay, but what's your proof? But what's your proof though? But see, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Someone like Shakur and Valdez is.
You guys know this is
Shakur
on
has
the
been
air, right?
reported.
This is being broadcasted.
Hey, by the way, so other people have skeletons in their closet, but that's a big if. You don't know. You're speculating. You're speculating. You're speculating. Hold on a second. Hold on, Rip. You're speculating and acting as if that's a fact and the truth. That's not how it works, man. You could speculate. Hey, I could speculate that not only did Shakur Stevenson punch a woman, he's probably fucking raping women as well in a dungeon. But that doesn't make it a fact. What does make a fact is what we saw. What we do have as a fact is him punching a woman in front of a 7-Eleven.
PDA, do you have proof? Do you have video proof of Shakur raping a female? No, you don't.
Of course
you
not,
have proof that Shakur swung, missed a man, and hit the female. Yes, you do.
Yes, I do, Soothsayer. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That can happen to anyone, bro. That can happen to anyone.
Well, it wouldn't happen to Lomachenko because he wouldn't miss.
Why do you still keep, promoting these fighters who do this? Then you're talking about Shakur Stevenson right now, which is giving promo right now. So
that's right.
Keep the same energy.
Well, I am. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm promoting the fight, but at the same time, I'm asking you guys, who will you root for? And the answers shocked me, to tell you the truth.
I'm not rooting for Shakur because of what he does outside the ring. I'm rooting for Shakur because I think he's a great talent. I like his skills.
So but I want to hear. Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to hear from other people as well because it's been. Yeah, sorry. I want to hear from
him because he's a woman beater and a fucking juicer.
So you asked us who will root.
I love it.
Tell you who I'm rooting for. I give a problem who I'm rooting for.
No, I said you could be neutral and say and not root for anybody.
If Valdez wins his fight, are people gonna start saying that he won because he's a cheater?
Boy,
of course, they're already doing it. Did you see Keyshawn's Twitter page?
Keyshawn, sorry.
Did you see
Listen, I just left Twitter page? I'm here spending like DAZN, like I fucking owned it, like I'm bidding on DAZN fights. And I get on here, and you fucking animals are talking about. I will say this: Shakur had no power even in that gas station fight. That guy got right up.
You're right. Hey, I saw that video. I didn't know it was Shakur Stevenson by how fucking bad he was fighting.
And by the way, you guys are right. You guys are right. I really don't care.
You get beat up by that guy, man.
Remember when Broner caught Porter and he got up? He was like shrugged his shoulders. He fucking blindsided that guy right in the butt, and he was just like, "God, what? Oh."
All right, listen. Let's forget.
Are you a fan of Chocolatito?
I think.
Hold on. I'm having a hard time hearing people at the same time. Hold on. Soothsayer, hold on. Let's get down to brass tacks. You forget the women beating and the tea and the green tea and all that and the PEDs. Let's get down to brass tacks. Apparently, it is liable to change, but the odds are, I think it's something like 2-1 right now for Shakur Stevenson, which means that
makes sense.
Yeah, which potentially means you could make some money. That sounds like a pretty good deal if you put money on Shakur. How many of you guys are gonna put some money on Shakur Stevenson or on Oscar Valdez?
Stevens is the underdog, you're saying?
No, he's a favorite.
He's a 2-1 favorite. Okay, so you got to lay down double. That's going to be a good fight. I like Shakur Stevens, man. I think he should grow his hair out a little bit and wet it up like in Raging Bull, the guy who played the black guy who played Robinson. Ray Robinson.
Right.
You know, like with the white mouthpiece.
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right. I have Valdez.
Shout out to the real BDA, bro.
Money on
the real one, BDA, bro.
Hold on,
Shout out to BDA.
Who was? Sorry, LT. Sorry to interrupt you, but LT, you're interrupting somebody. Who was talking?
My bad.
Shut your Mexican trap.
I didn't say that, man. I didn't say that. Now, who was talking? Sorry about that. Who was talking?
Me.
No, you weren't talking. Shut up. Who was talking? Oh, forget it. All right, LT, go ahead, man. LT, go ahead.
No, wait.
Yes.
Bro, I was gonna say, bro, look, man, if you want to make some money, bro, you put your money on fucking Valdez, bro, because you know what? Eddie Reynoso's behind his corner, bro. Who cares, bro? Eddie Reynoso's gonna
let's bet.
Bro, Eddie Reynoso's gonna put that fucking referee on his fucking place. He's gonna go in there and tell him, look, this is a boxing fighting match. This is not a hugging match. If he hugs more, you give him a fucking warning, or else, this shit, all right? That's how fucking Eddie Reynoso right? That's why Shakur was like a pussy and was thinking about not fucking signing the contract like a little bitch. Yeah. All right, because fucking Eddie Reynoso knows what the fuck he's doing.
Shakur was running from Oscar and he was telling people he was a duck, but he hadn't even signed the contract. That's a bad look, bro.
Well, he just signed the contract, so let's see.
So why did he say Oscar?
Eddie's a good trainer. He's right.
He
won't be able to make a game plan for
Reynoso's the edge.
Oscar's a good fighter, but Shakur's a special fighter. There's levels to this. The skill gap is too wide.
Let's make some pesos.
I'm kind of in the middle with this. I'm kind of in the middle.
Not according to that video right there.
Who wants to put money on Valdez?
Yeah, come on, let's go. Somebody
who's bringing the fucking heat. He's bringing the heat. That's an edge. Reynoso's no joke with the A side, with the PEDs.
Reynoso can't fight for him.
Yeah, but he can inject them.
Bro, let's be honest.
I wanted to talk about that. Hey, yo.
Bro, let's be honest, bro. Well, you guys are painting Valdez like a cheater, bro. We all know Shakur is with fucking what snack, bro? That fucking Conte motherfucker.
He's not good enough. Get that snack pack.
No, I'm saying,
hey,
yeah, snack pack.
I'm a Reynoso Canelo fan, right? Valdez fan, whatever. But here's something that I want to talk about. How much does Reynoso as a coach get blamed for his fighters popping for clenbuterol? I haven't heard anything like that. I haven't heard that. Who said that here?
He got nothing to do with it.
He's had like 3 fights.
I was joking about the vitamins. But I was serious about the ace, the prep, man. He's a good coach. Let's keep it real. So what I'm saying to you is, give me some.
Didn't Reynoso distance himself from Oscar Valdez? Though I heard something like that.
Louis Neary popped.
Bro, you're hearing fake news, bro. Fake news.
Julio Cesar popped. Louis Neary popped. Canelo popped. Who else?
Cheaters.
Who else?
Just say everybody uses it, man. Like everybody uses it. If you don't think everybody
Valdez could be on PEDs, but I don't think he'll win.
Timeshare to
even if he was on PEDs.
It's like 3 or 4 of them.
Hey, hold on. You fellas, you're talking at the same time. You're talking over each other. All right, Intergalactic, go ahead. What'd you say?
The same thing that everybody uses it. And if you don't think so, then I'm going to sell you some timeshares here. You want to buy some? You believe in stupid shit if you don't think everybody's using fucking roids, man.
Yeah, Nate. Everybody's using it.
Nate Diaz comes to mind, or Nick Diaz. Yeah, Nate Diaz.
Everybody's a murderer, so let's all kill each other.
Nah, shut up. Because if you talk shit, they're gonna knock you out. You can't be talking shit.
No,
who's gonna knock me out?
No, what he's saying is that you were talking.
Police is gonna knock you out, bro, because you talk a lot of shit.
Okay.
Well, first of all, also you said that Shakur Stevenson was justified in beating up a woman because they probably spit on him or something. So that's the world we're living in now. It's like,
that's not what
people
touch
it.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
You would have a point, BDA, if he intentionally hit her. He didn't.
One thing is that Shakur Stevenson was drunk when he did that. It was like his 21st or something.
Wait, before we get to that, let's talk about boxing. Valdez is not good enough. Forget all the cheating, the women beating stuff. Valdez is not good enough to beat Shakur.
Well, that's why I asked. That's why I asked somebody.
He's kind of like both like contenders that haven't really proven much. It's like Oscar Valdez is a really good trainer. Has a good trainer, but like you've never seen Eddie Reynoso like game plan for a fight. Like I don't think he kind of just does drills, and it's just like. I don't think that's good enough for a guy like Shakur,
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you, is Reynoso a little bit overrated right now?
Yeah.
Well, just in terms of boxing
I think Reynoso really good.
Let me tell you why he's overrated. Let me tell you why he's overrated. All I see him is slapping Canelo around with that fucking wet noodle, bro. That's all I see.
his pajamas.
Yeah, like you've never seen him like actually teach somebody like real things besides like combinations or like like he seems really good at like the drilling, but that's it.
Andy
Talking
Ruiz
shit about the wet towel. The wet towel is a good training tool.
Who was it?
Kind of simulate hooks without throwing them.
Who was it? Who was it?
Ruiz.
Who was it in that Reynoso camp that was grabbing Ruiz's ass? Somebody grabbed it. Who was it? Canelo or somebody was rubbing that ass?
Yeah, it was Canelo, bro. That was weird, bro. That turned me off. I was like, what the fuck are they slapping each other's asses for? He's like trying to show him a tattoo he had on his ass. It was Canelo and that was fucking weird, bro.
But it made you a fan forever. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen. So-and-so popped. So-and-so popped. Hey, I want to ask a question, though. Obviously,
Pete, you're breaking. Sorry to interrupt, Pete. You're breaking up, Pete.
Eeyore, you're breaking up.
Pete, you're breaking up.
Eeyore.
Pete, I can hear you.
My point about Reynoso.
Yeah, go ahead, Intergalactic or Soothsayer.
My point about Reynoso, right? Teofimo's dad was trainer of the year too, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Well, that's different, dude. Like you never see Teofimo's dad doing shit, just drinking all day.
He's a fucking bum.
Well, just to clarify, to defend Reynoso a little bit, and I'm not a fan of his, I do think he's overrated, but at least he had Oscar Larios back in the 2000s, early 2000s, so he had a titleist on the payroll, whereas Lopez Sr., I mean, Lopez Sr., all he was good at was talking and promoting his son. Other than that, you saw what happened. Once Lomachenko turned it on, he didn't know how to stop him, and then once they ran into Cambosos, it was, what you doing? Knock this guy out already. Let's go early. Let's go home. Like, oh, man, great advice there. They're great advisor, Lopez Sr.
Hey, I will say this though. I saw Lopez Sr. when him, Haney, and Eddie Hearn are outside yelling at each other. Hey, Teofimo's dad said something kind of eerie. He said about Haney that he's not gonna last. Like that bum ain't gonna last. I can see that happening.
When he gets to 140. He's getting knocked the fuck out.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's gonna be an ugly
shadowing shit right there from Lopez Sr. I know we make fun of him a lot, but hey, he was spitting some facts. Go back and watch that.
I don't know. I kind of want to see a rivalry of what's his name, Angel Garcia and the Lopez Sr.
Oh,
just screaming at each.
You know what though? What happens if you think that they would actually fight each other, but then it turns out they actually like each other and they become friends?
Yeah, they could be best friends like P&J.
Yeah, maybe they relate to each other and they go, hey, I love your shit talking, bro. Yeah, and then they become best friends. So with the Valdez fight, and Stevenson, nobody's stepping up and placing a little wager on Valdez. Is that what I'm getting at here?
No way.
Fuck that.
They know better.
Well, there you go.
Shakur's gonna wash him, dominate this dude.
Not
Easy
unless
work.
there's rinks in me.
I wouldn't say dominate, but I think he'll beat him.
Oh no, it's gonna be a dominant. Trust me.
Well, hold on. Irish Andre Ward wanted to say something about Irish Andre Ward. Go ahead.
I wouldn't put a shilling on that bum. Me dead father's corpse are better trained than a lot of them. Fuck the rest of them. 5 Irish Andre Ward.
Who the fuck is that guy?
All right. Well, listen, at least the fight's happening. April 30th can't come soon enough. And if anybody's willing, like we said, if anybody's willing to place a little wager on Valdez, let us know. Because if you do win,
yes, please let me know.
You're gonna get all the glory. It's easy to pick Shakur Stevenson, but if you're putting your money on Valdez,
I'll put money on Valdez.
How much?
To lose.
Oh, come on. He got you.
Hey, BDA.
got me.
Yeah, baited.
Oh,
you know the argument for Valdez.
I know LT will put money on Valdez.
Yeah. If Valdez could use effective pressure on Shakur Stevenson, maybe something could happen, because we never seen Shakur ever lose control of that distance management. Like you saw him against whoever, Jermale Herring, what's his name?
Yeah.
I even forget. Like he was in control of that fight the whole time. He had really good frames, posts. You couldn't really trap him anywhere. He had really good ringmanship.
I think Navarrete will give Shakur a tougher fight than Valdez.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Shakur's best weapon that night, I believe, is going to be his accuracy and his jab. It's not only just a really good stick, actually one of the best in boxing. In its deliverance, the speed, the angles he throws it, but he also knows when to throw it. That's important. A lot of clowns get out there and they just start jabbing. Just, you know what I mean? He's very smart on when he throws it, and he knows when to throw it, and he doesn't do it just for a scoring punch. He does it to try to stop other people's offense too. That's why he's hard to hit. I was really, after watching BDA's stuff he's had, it's easy to see. So, yeah, I think that's going to be Valdez needs to go in there and just make it rough. He cannot try to box with this kid. He's going to try to catch him, like throw something over the jab. Feeling like he's going to throw a left hook. And then when Shakur throws his stick, he needs to jump over the top quick with a right, hopefully to stun him, get him off balance, because if he stuns him, he's not going to get him thinking. And that's, I think, the only path forward for him to win. That's just my opinion, guys.
You know what I would do if I were Reynoso, man? I'd tell Shakur Stevenson, because like you said, Jimmy, he can't box with Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur Stevenson, he's not going to get, he's not a hothead. He's not going to lose his cool unless Valdez goes in there with long hair and he gives Shakur Stevenson flashbacks, because that's like putting red in front of a bull. That's going to get him out of his game. He's going to go right. He might go after Valdez, and he might make Shakur Stevenson look his cool. So I don't know, little tricks like that. Little tricks
big
like
tits.
that. Yeah, big tits.
He should wear like
if he puts big tits on him, he might miss.
He has to wear that Canelo drip. There, you got to be like teal, all teal. He's got to wear yellow or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get something.
He's got to have the gyno. That's the ticket. The gyno.
All right,
that's the game changer.
Let me read a super chat here, please. Shout out to Ed Perez for his contribution. He says, drinking a diuretic tea doesn't compare to beating a woman. As a fan, I don't support men beating up women. All right, that's one man's opinion. That's Ed Perez. Shout out to him for his contribution.
Boxing can lead to death. So
that's rare breed. He supports women beaters.
Come on.
Supports women beaters.
I don't support women beaters. But cheating in boxing can lead to people dying, though. So that's just as bad, in my opinion.
That's a good point.
What's this diuretic tea thing about, BDA? What's this diuretic tea bullshit? Is it news?
I mean, that's from 7 months ago. And yeah, that's Valdez getting caught with a diuretic. But a loophole from WADA and the Indian Commission allowed them
diuretic, does that make you stronger or just make you lose weight faster?
It makes you weight lose.
It's like a weight cutting tool. Makes it easier. You do get an advantage from that.
It's like a Guinness.
It's outlawed for a reason.
It's like, let's say you have to cut 10 pounds. If you could do that smoother, like you're way better than the other guy who has to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll make it this simple.
So
if you're walking down the street, at night and you see Valdez and his crew walking towards you, okay, are you gonna get scared? No. If you see Shakur and his group walking towards you, I'm gonna run.
Why?
I'm running.
They scared of black niggas?
Just put on a wig and you'll probably miss.
You guys are too much, man.
Hey, the thing is, what if let's play some mind games. What if he comes out, his ring walk is with all the people from the gas station, like staggering out there, like he comes.
Oh man! Hey, Pete, didn't you?
Speaking on some funny shit, BDA guys, did y'all see Chavez? That video of Chavez Jr. and Chavez Sr. are sitting on the couch, just talking candidly, and then Chavez Jr. is trying to hate on Canelo and trying to convince his dad to fucking hate on Canelo too. Did y'all see that? He's wearing that Chapo hat too.
Oh really? No, I haven't seen it, man. If you have a link,
I'll send it to you, BDA.
Hey, did Chavez Jr. have his pumps on or something?
No.
He's got that. Chavez Jr.'s got that fucking Chapo hat on, and he's like fucking just digging into his old man to tell him that that Canelo's a ducker.
Do you think? Let me ask you a serious question here. Do you think that if Chavez Sr. could go back in time, he would try to drown Chavez Jr. in the pool or something, and then try to adopt Canelo? I mean, is that something that would be?
It's not too late.
I think
come on,
dude.
He'd go for Dejo.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, jeez, Luis. Open last Friday.
Don't look at me, little puppet. Don't look at me.
Chavez Jr. does get some slack just because his dad was such a fucking G, though. What a G.
I mean, his father did bang a prime Selma Hayek, so you got to give him props for that.
He banged whatever he wanted. He snorted whatever he wanted.
Hey, isn't that the tragedy?
That's true.
Isn't that the tragedy with
the Rolls Royce Silver Spur, the old kind with the fucking fenders on it, in the middle of Guadalajara? Oh.
He was in cahoots with the fucking cartel, dude.
Yeah,
that's why he's got like a statue for it.
Chavez
you think he rubbed up to them or the other way around? They were fans too.
Cartel, yeah, he had the Arellano Felix brothers coming out with him, I believe.
That president, what was that president's name that he had on his pocket?
I forget the name of that. But yeah, man, I mean, these guys, look, listen, these guys hang around with drug dealers, man. They better be careful, man, because those guys, I mean, you never know what the fuck they're on. So I'd be very careful about associating with. On top of beating midgets, doesn't Canelo, the rumor is he's friends with cartel members too, right?
Yeah, supposedly, but.
Bro, they snatched his brother up, man.
Yeah, they did snatch his brother. I was going to mention that.
Which one?
Might be the other way around.
What cartel? There's not only one. There's a fucking 10 of them.
Fuck about Canelo.
Millions.
But I guarantee you,
I
guarantee Chavez wasn't chasing after them.
Hey, if they snatched up Vicente Fernandez's son, they're gonna snatch up anybody, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If they want you, they're gonna get you, man. You know.
Chavez tried to pay him to snatch up Junior.
I would, you know what? I mean, honestly, I would imagine whatever provenance his family or a bulk of his family lives in Mexico, it would only be smart because each one's run by, like you said, different cartels. It'd be smart to send them tickets, maybe go to a house party because they don't live like, you know, we don't, obviously the regular drug dealers, they live in palaces and have these big fucking black tie dinners and shit. You know what I mean? So I would imagine he might try to, you know, stay on good sides with them. It would only make sense. It's a narco state. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Jimmy, adding to that, yes. He's from Jalisco. So Mayo Zambada, actually, what you just said, it's the other way around. Mayo Zambada has sent gifts for his family. And has basically allowed him to live free and safe passage for his family and everybody. So yeah, it's like that.
Well, dude, you think about it, brother. Well, when you catch fucking El Chapo's son and they get angry and they show up with fucking outgunning the military and they tell the military, give us that fucking kid back or we're going to kill this town and you. And they say, okay. You're not going to tell them, right? That's not a narco state. That's crazy. They showed up with 50 cows on the back of fucking
That would happen in America, though.
They had like tanks or stuff. That's like a state.
They had half-tracks. They had military equipment. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Give it 2 years. Give it 2 years, and you'll start seeing that type of stuff in the United States. But let me tell you, unless somebody does something to stop the decay. But anyway, listen. The point is, Canelo's coming out now. I mean, sorry, the aforementioned Reynoso. And he said, nah, we're still negotiating with various parties for his next fight. So here are the possibilities, according to the news. He signs with Eddie Hearn a 2-fight contract. He fights Bivol, and if he beats Bivol, he ends up fighting Triple G in a rubber match. Or he gets, according to this article, the rumor is a $45 million deal with the PBC to fight Jermall Charlo on May the 7th. So my question to you guys is, which fights would you rather see?
Charlo.
Honestly, yeah, Charlo.
Yeah, Charlo only because Bivol would be fucking. Bivel's a tougher test without a doubt. But here's the thing: the PBC offered him $45 million. They said $40 million for Plant, but he didn't. If you go to, I'll get the website, but the actual he ended up taking. I mean, just a little over $30 million. So it's not like he's, going to be fucking jerking dudes off to make rent. So fucking, but you know what I mean? It wasn't the 40 million that they first said. So by 45 million, that must mean if all bonuses, X amount of pay-per-views are sold, yada, yada, yada. But DAZN offered him 85 firm. So he gets 85, not dependent on number of pay-per-views. Although I heard they're going to put him on pay-per-view. And if they do that, I'll be bouncing my fucking subscription. But so who's to say? Personally, I like to see Charlo. I think it'd be more intrigue. Bivol, I mean, he's talented, but is fucking born as a day is long.
Yep.
So
he's like a robot.
Yeah, very talented kid. Got some of the best fucking footwork, I think, in boxing, and I think it'd be a very, very hard test for Canelo.
Well, wait a minute, ain't the number?
What?
What?
Dantes, you said something.
Canelo versus Bivol for the robot championship.
Got kidnapped.
My perspective on this is like, what can I convince my friends to come over, like watch a match with? Like, no one knows who Bivol is, but like, is Charlo really is he a big draw in the U.S.?
Oh, he's bigger than Bivol. That's
Maybe
for
in
damn
Houston.
sure.
Maybe in Houston.
Either way, the promotion will be on Canelo's shoulders. He'll be carrying the promotion, obviously. It just depends on what would have more intrigue. And I think everything involved, personally, I just think Charlo would make more sense right now.
And think about it. It would make more sense.
There's more chance that
USA versus Mexico.
There's more chance that Canelo loses to Bivol than he loses to Charlo. We all know that.
Not necessarily. If we see the same Charlo that fought Deverenchenko, he has a good fight.
And boy, we know.
Well, hold on. Let him finish. Let Ray Breed finish. I want to hear this. Go ahead, Ray Breed.
Yeah, if we see the same Charlo that fought Deverenchenko and knocked out J-Rock in 3 rounds, I think it's a very good fight because Charlo, unlike the past opponents Canelo has fought recently, has some firepower. You know, he's not pillow-fisted like Mr. Caleb Plant and Billy Ho Saunders.
What about Callum Smith though?
Like, who has it really?
Callum Smith is not a power puncher like that, and you can't convince me Callum Smith is a tougher fight than Charlo. You're not going to convince me that.
But he was number 1 at 168 though.
You see,
because Charlo's black.
No, he's not. We all know who the real number 1 at 1, and it's David Benavidez.
Oh,
Charlo's an interesting
case.
If you study film footage.
Benavidez,
Lenin Castillo went the distance with what's this guy with Bivol. Hey, you know, Callum Smith iced him in 1 round. Guy can crack, dude, but I don't know what happened in the Canelo fight.
And didn't he move up to light heavyweight too?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Is that the same kid? So honestly, I personally think yes. I think Smith actually would punch harder. I think Charlo is faster. But overall, I mean, but either way, neither one of them don't punch as hard as Triple G, and Canelo took all of those shots. So it would have to. It'd be a stretch for Charlo to beat him. It really would. It'd be.
But Charlo does have a great jab though, which Canelo does struggle with.
But not only does the matchroom,
I feel like Charlo get better,
not only does the matchroom contract come with Bivol, but the GUG trilogy too.
L-Dog, what is that name you got there? Darnell
more athletic, more power, more speed.
I feel like Charlo finna beat that boy because he more athletic. He got more footwork.
Come on.
His hand speeds is better, man. I don't think Nello. I don't think he really want that work, man.
This is ridiculous.
Hey,
this is ridiculous.
The blackest man in New Zealand.
Who's your black too?
With Charlo, it's really weird because I think that Charlo he fights better backwards than he does coming forwards. You ever watch do some fight footage study?
Yeah,
when he comes forward, he's one of those guys where he steps onto the line if he wants to throw a jab. He doesn't like taking angles that much, right? It kind of makes him a more interesting fighter.
He's very intellectual. Let him speak.
He's a
big dude. He's 6'2".
Yeah,
he's a counter puncher.
Yeah.
You know, Canelo's got good. He's got good defense. My theory that with Golovkin that he got hit with jabs because he would have rather stayed in the pocket and keep his eyes open and watch for the right hand instead of watching for the jab. So he took a jab to keep particular attention on that right hand coming right behind it because he rather get hit because you can't duck and swerve. You cannot block and roll every punch. So you're going to take some eventually, but instead of taking the right hand, you take the first shot, you keep your eyes open to watch the right hand coming right behind that, which is more powerful, then you can counter Golovkin back. And that's why I think he got hit with a lot of jabs, because the right hand is more powerful than the jab. Golovkin punches hard with both hands, but make no mistake, he hit you with the right hand, he's gonna knock you out.
Well, can I say something about that? Because when it comes to Bivol, the guy is great at judging the distance. He's got, very good hand speed and footwork. But what happens if he goes in there against Canelo? And already Bivol is not the most active fighter when it comes to throwing punches. What happens if he looks at Canelo's defense and he does what every other Canelo opponent has done so far and becomes gun shy? Then that's it. He's not going to knock Canelo out. He's a bit of a slapper. So what's the second? But at least with Charlo, we know he can crack a little bit. He's always got that puncher's chance. I'm not saying he beats Canelo, but I'm saying, isn't that a little bit more interesting than watching Canelo against another boxer?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a more exciting fight. I think it'll end in the mid rounds, like round 6, round 8, somewhere around there.
That's disrespectful, but okay.
Bro, let's be real. Let's be real. Who wants to see the Bivol fight? Bivol doesn't deserve a Canelo fight. That's my opinion. He's boring.
None of these guys deserve a Canelo fight.
No, stop that. Stop that, dude. Stop that, okay? Because you gotta fight listen. When it comes to boxing, you gotta fight someone, right?
Yeah,
when
make a tournament.
Bivol,
Why don't they make a tournament?
Hold on, bro. You're cutting me off, bro. You're cutting me off, bro. That's strike 1. Okay, don't make me get to the third strike. But when it comes to Canelo, Bivol. Hey, listen, bro. That goes for the rest of you as well. So pipe down. You're talking to the big boy here, man.
All right, just go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Okay, what I was gonna say was Bivol doesn't deserve the Canelo fight because he's boring, he's irrelevant, and he's an incel. No one cares about that dude, man. Just look at him. He's not even marketable. Put him in there against Charlo and we'll see a better fight.
He's an incel. That's the first time I've ever heard a guy.
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing, right? What I'm saying is he's boring when he boxes. He can't speak English, and he looks fucking awful. So he can't sell just based on his looks. This is not a good fight.
If you don't want a destroyer to fight Canelo, you should want him to fight better Bia. If we're talking about the best destroyer out there,
he's not gonna fight him though.
Now listen, guys. At this point, see Canelo in a challenge.
it's just like Roy Jones fighting John Ruiz. It's like, what do we give him credit for?
Until better Bia is 40.
I'll give Charlo credit if he lasts his 12 rounds. Honestly.
Hey, Bivol? Didn't Bivol fight on the Jake Paul's undercard too?
Yeah, I think he did fight one guy. Yeah.
Hey, I got an angle for you. Charlo, you know what? L-Dog might be right. Charlo might be a better fight. Here's why. He can't drain. Pause. He can't drain Charlo. And he can't rehydrate him, so it's like he's going to try to drag Bivol down to 68, probably, right?
No, I think it was at 165.
So.
Give Charlo a short camp like he has every other opponent.
Charlo is an exciting fighter. We can admit that, right? I mean, which one is it? Charlo almost. Okay. Listen, guys. Listen. I know what's up behind the scenes. Okay, I get you guys, but let's just admit it. Charlo is an exciting fighter. Like, you can't say the guy almost lost and was getting beat up and then say he was boring. Like, which one is it? If you almost lose, it's usually exciting because it's a close competitive fight.
L-Dog, the thing is, most people already know that Charlo's going to lose against Canelo, but when it comes to Bivol, there's a chance, right? Because the guy, he's a little bit bigger, he can move, he can box. So for some people, it's more interesting, man, because Canelo can actually lose that fight.
Bro,
you don't want to see somebody that's gonna lose.
Even if he loses, it'll be boring.
Canelo can't lose to Bivol. And I'm gonna explain why.
A-side bullshit.
Bivol could beat him 8-4, and then the judges will give him
find out if they
a decision.
All right, hold on a
second.
second.
Do you guys think Bivol can win a decision? And if not, do you think Bivol can stop Canelo? Like, he can't stop Canelo, but he also can't win a decision.
No, I was talking about Bivol walking down Charlo.
But that's irrelevant. That fight's not going to happen.
That's two weight classes above Charlo. I wouldn't even think about that fight.
Okay, do you think they're going to give it to
Charlo's
Bivol?
less susceptible to that, though. No.
Depends on where it's held.
Bruh, they're not going to give it to Bivol. Like I said, he's an incel. He doesn't speak English.
If it's in Vegas during like Cinco de Mayo, That's 2 points for Canelo on the scorecard. Let's just be honest. Because he's the money man. Vegas is always going to be leaning towards the one who brings in the whales. If you owned a hotel and you were paying this guy a fucking $20 million site fee, you want to make sure you get him back instead of the Oriental kid who brings in fucking 2 people and his cousin.
Whoa. Oriental kid. Oriental kid. I mean, come on.
He's Asian. His mother's Asian. His dad's Russian.
Yeah, he's like Triple G, dude.
They're still Oriental.
Yeah, exactly. Very simple.
My question is,
Jimmy Bunker.
If we know that you can't get a decision against Canelo, shouldn't fans be pushing him to just fight power punches from now on? You know, like that's like if that's the thing, we know that you can't get a decision, then we should just want to see him in there with power punches.
I want to say this. I think that Bivol might be
volume than Canelo, right? Bivol's gonna throw less volume than even Canelo. Canelo's gonna outwork him. He's gonna outpower him. I mean, really, he's gonna A-side the shit out of him.
I think that Bivol is a little overrated. He's a little overrated.
At least Charlo can fire back with some firepower. Like Bivol has nothing for him.
Charlo has some goddamn firepower at 160. Why do I keep hearing this? What the hell?
Charlo's actually big for 160. Still,
and he doesn't have power at 160.
He's 6
I'm
foot
sure
2.
they hit comparably the same. You know, like
ask his opponents if he has power. They all seem to think he does. And when it comes to
Charlo, he didn't stop Karlov. Lee did, and even what's his name? Eubanks Jr. stopped him.
Who has Charlo fought though?
All right, hold on, bro. This just proves you're a box-rec warrior. You know how Eubank Jr. stopped him? Via injury.
Yes.
The guy injured himself.
Yes.
He didn't actually get knocked out. So what's your point? Like, it doesn't count if you don't actually stop him with
My core
punches.
bar?
Yeah, this is the thing about.
So what about the Andy Boone one? Do you remember that?
Is Canelo Southpaw? Real quick, is Canelo Southpaw?
Oh, come on, Pete. What's the matter with you, man?
Good. Because Charlo can't fight Southpaws. But I'm just telling you, he stands a better chance than a 175 guy getting completely A-sided to death. He's gonna walk in there looking like fucking Kovalev, all fucked up, taking a nappy on the couch before the fight. All right, like he's laying in the hotel room.
Kovalev wrong, man. He called Kovalev back camps.
Man, you can't do that.
Bivol's a smaller. Yeah, Bivol's a smaller light heavyweight.
Oh, guys,
he's like he might be shorter than Charlo.
I've got a new point of view. Can I jump in quickly? Well, I did in the Murata GGG. That got cancelled. Yeah, the Murata GGG fight.
It got postponed. Yeah.
It got postponed. So why not get GGG Canelo first?
No, absolutely not. Nobody wants to watch that dinosaur fight.
Well, and besides,
that ship has sailed, dude. That ship has sailed. The only people who want to watch that fight are delusional white boys who think Triple G is gonna win.
Hey, real quick. Shout out to hold on, fellas, please. Fellas, hold on a second. Hold on, please. Shout out to. Hey, all right, hold on a second. I gotta mute people here.
2 or 3 of Canelo's last opponent.
Hey, sorry, I gotta mute people here. But shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution with the super chat. He says Canelo only wants people's O's and or belts. All right, shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution to the super chat. And I agree with that, by the way. I think Canelo, he's obsessed with belts, man. I think he bought the WBC Kool-Aid. And shout out to Texas Bulldog for his contribution with the super chat. He says Triple G is pointless, old, inactive, and fighting low-level opponents. All right, shout out to Texas Bulldog. Well, you know what? I want to say that about I want to say that about Canelo because apparently the deal is, hey, let's fight Bivol, and if he beats Bivol, he'll take on Triple G. But then here's my question. And this is why I don't like these A-side tactics. What's the point of fighting Triple G now? Because back after the rematch, he was saying, "No, I'm not gonna give him the payday." He said, "I'm not gonna give him the payday." That ship has sailed. Now all of a sudden, he would fight Triple G. Triple G hasn't done anything since the rematch. I mean, he had the win over the
besides reach 40 years old.
Exactly. So what would be the point?
Canelo waited him out 2 years ago. He dropped his belt and waited him out until he looked mortal against Danny before he decided, okay, now I'll do it. No, we can never forget that. Yeah, 18 months. He dropped his belt for 18 months before he saw a slippage in Triple G. And even then, at fucking almost 38 years old, he still rocked Canelo worse than he's ever been rocked in his life and beat him. Everybody can say what they want about his old ass now, but he beat the dude other than to rip off fucking judges that everybody else in boxing is fucking, you know what I mean, trying to get a piece of. So he does deserve his respect for that.
Yeah, he gets his respect, cool, but at the end of the day, dude, your time is up. Like, why do Triple G fans think that Triple G is getting better with age? Like, okay, you found out.
I've been calling him. I've been calling him to retire since the second fight. At the end of the second fight, I said, "Walk away." I wish
well,
he would
even Triple G after the fight.
Triple G
no satisfaction of trying to lay him out.
Triple G satisfaction. Well, he's not getting better. He's not getting better, but they kind of have unfinished business. What would it mean for Triple G if he went in there? If you went in there and beat Canelo, that would mean a lot because that would mean that an old Triple G would have beat a prime Canelo, and everybody's.
Why don't we talk about Devin Haney going up and outboxing Anthony Joshua? Like, you know, that's about the same probability as Triple G beating Canelo at this point.
What was the best fight Emery did?
Hold on. This is the thing. Like I was saying before. Like I was saying before. Hold on. Like I was saying before. It's really not a good look for Canelo if he decides to fight Triple G now because he didn't want to fight him in 2018, right? He goes, no, it's over. It's over and done with. Now, 3 years later, when Golovkin has done less going into that fight and has been inactive on top of that and older, now all of a sudden he wants to fight him. Yeah. What's the point of fighting him if not for the money? But hold on, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, man. I know I get that.
About everything.
Hold on, but let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this though. I'm telling you right now, if they fight a third time, even now, I still think Triple G gives him a lot of problems. Styles make fights, and Triple G style will always be a nightmare for Canelo.
Yeah, he'll give him more of a problem.
I don't know, man. I think he might get stopped the third time.
You know what it reminds me of? It's a sequels thing. Everyone says they want sequels, dude.
Everyone says
Everyone says they want sequels. Hell no! Everybody complains about sequels.
I remember in the lead up to the third.
That's how people complain about sequels.
All right, hold on. Everyone's talking over each other. Everyone's talking over everyone.
It would still be a close fight because Golovkin. Okay, Canelo would only throw as much punches as Golovkin because as soon as Golovkin goes, fucking Canelo would counter. And similar with Triple G, as soon as Canelo goes, Golovkin would counter, and as soon as Golovkin goes, as soon as Canelo goes, as soon as Golovkin goes, Canelo would counter. They would counter each other based on who opens up first. And Triple G got a solid chin, and he's got a good punch. So you would have to watch out for those two things: how he takes a punch and how he delivers. And once he delivers, like I said, Canelo would counter and back and forth. So it doesn't matter so much the age; it's his resistance. And still, the punching power that he possesses is how the pace and the action would kind of be dictated. You know, that's how that fight would play out. So it'd still be close.
Hey, can I say something? Pacquiao, Gonzalo. We both love Pacquiao, and it's going to be Pacquiao and Ugas all over again. In his prime.
Pacquiao still gave him a tough fight, but that's a different style a little bit.
Hey, my man,
he had the chin and the power.
Gonzalo, hear me out. I'm not saying he went there and got washed, but in his prime, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, Pacquiao would have fucking probably stopped Ugas, to be real. But Ugas had enough to make it one-sided. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying it wasn't close. I'm not saying it was a wash. I'm not saying he fucking destroyed him. Pacquiao just fell off. And that's what would happen most likely with Triple G.
Forget about the Charlo fight,
that's what would happen with Triple G and Canelo at a 42-year-old Triple G. I know he's got a good chin, and I know I know that they both fight their styles, but he don't deserve it, man. Don't give him the satisfaction for short money too.
Can I say something real quick?
We're getting Bivol.
You almost got Macaboo from this motherfucker.
He does deserve it because he got robbed.
Hey, speaking of falling off, because we're talking about who's gonna get the Canelo fight. Somebody just posted this on the Discord. Jamal Charlo arrested for assault, apparently.
But this is another tactic that this is another tactic that the racist boxing fans like to do. They like to bring up these fighters' personal lives. I don't give a fuck, okay? These guys could be the worst people known to man, but if they can fight in that ring and put up an exciting fight, they deserve to fight. I don't pay to see good citizens in the ring. I pay to see dudes beat each other up.
Well, that was never the question. If you're referring to can I speak, please? Can I speak here? If you're referring, fellas, I'm trying to talk here. I'm trying to talk here, please. If you're referring to what we were talking about earlier, nobody's saying that they don't want to watch women beaters. What we were asking was whether you would root for the women beater. And it's also interesting to bring up this point about Jermall Charlo being arrested because he wants that Canelo fight. We already saw Rolly Romero. He got sidelined because of allegations, not even anything he did. Because again, they ended up dropping the charges. Now we got this guy. This getting arrested. Could it hurt his chances of getting the Canelo fight?
No, because it's double standards.
Double standards is right.
But is it true that he's arrested?
Apparently, man. I don't know if somebody could please confirm it for us.
It's because he wasn't arrested, but he I don't know what happened in his restaurant with the waiter or something like that, like in August. I think it could be old news.
Yeah, I think it was back in August. Yeah.
This one says, and I'm looking at it now here. It says, shit. Hold on a second. Let me put it on Twitter here. It says
it's fake news.
Well, I don't know. You tell me, man. You tell me, because I don't know if it is or isn't. It says February.
Wait. It's to put the black man down, bro.
That's right.
L-Dog already said that.
They lost but really, it says.
No. I'm saying like, because this is the thing with me, right? I don't like these guys who pretend like they hide in the closet, they pussyfoot around these questions. They'll say like, oh, but he can't give this guy a fight, man. He's a bad person. And then you ask them, oh, who's your favorite fighter like of all time? They'll always be like, oh, Mike Tyson, man, Mike Tyson. It's
that's
like,
true,
dude, like Mike Tyson was not a good person, man. Like boxing just doesn't have a lot of good guys in it. Like you gotta wonder what kind of person wants to be in this violent sport. It's a sport for like savages.
Hey, that's true. Imagine if I would have told you that Mayorga is my favorite fighter.
Well,
man. Yeah, that would be
an interesting person if you said that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's true.
I think they're just levels of bad things that people do. Like that, you kind of like have to see what level it is.
It's like in MMA when they say that the GOAT is John Jones, and you know what's problem with him? He beats up his women every fucking 15 days.
I mean, that dude cheats inside and outside the cage, but
like Chris, it's only okay if you're black.
Hey, but you know what? Punching women. I think Bucho made a good point. What if what? It depends on what the woman did, right? We gotta look at that as well.
No.
No, that's not okay, man.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
What if the girl spoke at a turn?
Yeah, what if the girl is a
What if
boxer?
she spoke at a turn?
Hey, listen.
What if it was Clarissa Shields?
Oh, that's a good question. What if it's Clarissa Shields coming at you?
Clarissa Shields weighs more than Charlo. That's crazy.
Man, Clarissa Shields is like walking around 180 pounds, something like that.
Whoa. That's why she's got a fat ass.
She's big, man. She's big. She's big.
Put in my draw.
Woman, damn. Where's she at?
Thick.
Thick like me aunt.
Thick like a bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah, and she's muscle, man. I weigh like 190 pounds, but I'm fucking fat.
You think she could choke you out with her thighs? Or?
With no problem.
How tall is Clarissa? She's like 5'11".
Nah, she's like 5'9".
Clarissa Shields is a man.
Well, she says.
How do you think a fight between Clarissa and Roman Gonzalez would go?
Oh, I think
Clarissa Shields wins, man.
Gonzalez.
Roman's a midget, dude.
Clarissa should fight on Shakur Stevenson. Maybe she has a good chance of beating him.
Do you know? Wait, can I bring it up? Yeah? Do you know? I checked on BoxRec last weekend with the Liam Williams Chris Eubank fight, and Clarence Shields, she's like 1 out of 28 in BoxRec. 28.
Did you say Clarence?
Clarence or
Clarence.
Tyrone Shields.
Oh, come on.
1 out of 28. So there's 28 women in the division.
Nobody would ever beat.
Some of them might be 20s though. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's the one.
This is what I've been saying. It's like when you're the best at a certain subject in your classroom, like, cool, all right, you're the best in the class, maybe even the best in the school, but what, are you the best in your country? No, that's the difference. Like, bro, like 28 people is a classroom size, man. That's not even an achievement. Like, being the best out of 28 people.
She is definitely the best female fighter alive. Let's not do that.
Even in like flyweight, when they get murked because there isn't like apparently much competition, there's still like 600 pros, 700 pros.
All I'll say is I'd love to see.
What are you? You're not saying anything amazing. Man can beat up a woman. What's your point?
Wasn't she talking shit about Jake Paul and she wanted to get on Jake Paul's card?
You're having daydreams of Shakur Stevenson now, I think. To be honest with you, I wasn't talking about that at all.
Yeah, well, with Clarissa, are you talking about what it was? I guess. Well, at the same time, her manager Mark Taffet was reaching out to Jake Paul and Showtime and offered to ask if they could put Clarissa on their card for the exposure. They said they'd get back to him. They didn't get back to him. Yeah, well, this would happen. They didn't get back. They said, we'll get back to you. A week goes by. They didn't get back to him. Mark Taffet then called again. Come on, what's going on? And then he said, well, listen, here's what it is. You're asking for $1 million. The numbers don't add up to what she brings in. And obviously he hung up the phone. Within 6 hours, she was blistering Jake Paul on the Twitter. Oh, fuck him. And then started going on, I'd never fight on one of those joke cards. So she played herself. You know what? Boxing at the end of the day, just people, and she's a toxic person. You can tell. But this way, would you want to be her boyfriend? She's a psycho. She's angry about everything. Trust me.
She's pretty thick, so maybe I would want to be her boyfriend.
You got low standards.
You're giving a lot of people in this panel a lot of credit, man.
All right, well, listen. I wanted to ask you something else, fellas, because we're talking about the Canelo sweepstakes, Triple G and Bivol. That's one consideration. Benavides, David Benavides now is saying, well, actually, the father, Jose Benavides Sr., is saying that Canelo is scared of him. But then I looked at who David Benavides is going to fight. Guess who he's going to fight, guys? David Lemieux.
Hey, they have to fight. Yeah, Benavides has to fight him. It's a double mandatory, remember?
I mean, I want to see. Why can't the PBC make Benavides against Caleb Plant? Put him in
hey, BDA, Andrade is going to fight Benavides. That's why it's a double mandatory. If he beats his guy, then they have to fight.
I'm confused.
Why, Mr. BDA, they don't, because they don't have a farm system. Where's the replacements? And because of that, they're desperately holding on to anybody who has a chance of winning so you don't want to match them against each other. And I mean, Heyman just doesn't do it. Just look at his history since 2015. Look at how many times he's done the fucking Valdez Ramirez. I mean, Taylor Ramirez, the fucking Teofimo Lomachenko's. Where's the PBC fights like that?
Castano Charlo.
What's that? Castano Charlo. That one. 223 fighters, 6 years, and that's the only one. And at the time, I don't even think Castano was a PBC fighter.
Well, okay, but let's get back to the Benavides thing, because look, Benavides is another example of a guy that should be fighting more often, because he fought Ellis, right, in the beginning of the year or thereabouts. Then he was going to fight Uzcategui, and I'm thinking, look, why is he fighting Uzcategui? Why was he going to fight Uzcategui, who was coming off 2 losses? That's the best fight they could make for the guy. Now, Soothsayer brought up the point about the double mandatory. That's where I get confused, because Benavides says, now he's saying that, Eddie Hearn is saying that he's open to make Benavides versus Andrade. But then Andrade is talking about fighting Zachary, whatever, the Brit guy. So what's going on here, fellas? I mean, I'm confused. If somebody could break it down for me.
Tell me 168. The landscape's kind of barren. BDA. Andrade just moved up to 68. He's not necessarily the most exciting, but yeah, there's not too many opponents, too many fighters.
If you fight Zurdo, that'd be a good fight, man.
Zurdo?
Zurdo's at 75, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at 175.
Benavides needs to move up, man.
Well, I mean, Charlo would have been, obviously, but Charlo put so many, first it was, I won't fight you because you don't have a COVID vaccination. Then he got vaccinated. Then he said, I'm not fighting anybody under the age 25. So when a fighter starts pulling that shit, I mean, Like Benavidez says, he gets right on him. What's that?
What about? Hey,
He's scared of Benavidez.
What about
fight-
I'm not fighting? What about I'm not fighting Mexicans? That's up there too.
Yeah, he said that too, supposedly too.
The fight that should have happened was
Wait,
Caleb
didn't Canelo
Plant
say that?
Benavidez, because they had the beef. They had out of the ring, kind of like leading up to a fight that could have been an interesting gimmick. For that fight to happen, never did, because they didn't want to take two other fighters and pit them in together, because one would have lost, and they want to keep making money out of both of them. But how much money? Because they're not making a lot of money, so they should have fought. It would have brought more attention to the sport and to their careers.
Point. That's a good point.
Do
Now
you know
let me say
with Canelo not fighting Mexican fighters, that's similar to like Floyd, what he was doing later in his career. It's like Canelo early in his career, he's fighting lots of Mexicans, and now he's like the payday guy, and he's not like fighting Mexicans, giving them paydays, giving paydays to like Brits.
Yeah, why is he sounds like a self-hating Mexican, if you ask me. Hey, real quick, shout out to
Hey, come on, BDA, come on.
I'm just saying. That's what it looks like. Shout out to Texas Bulldog Boxing for his contribution with the super chat. Says nobody willingly wants Benavidez at 168. Shout out to Texas Bulldog for his contribution. And I want to ask you, but can I just piggyback off? Hold on, fellas, please let me finish. Yeah, please let me finish. Thank you, Jimmy. Uncle Phil, shout out to Uncle Phil, who says, I hope Charlo gets life. Come on. Hey, is that Pigeon, by the way? Yeah, that's Pigeon, apparently. Shout out to Pigeon for his contribution. And he wants Charlo to get life in prison for alleged assault. I mean, come on, Pigeon. What's the matter with you? But listen, going back to Texas Bulldog's comment about nobody wanting Benavidez, what do you guys think about Benavidez? Do you think he really is the boogeyman, and or is he a little overrated right now? Curious to get your thoughts.
Unless he makes
he's the boogeyman.
If he
Canelo had no interest. Hey, Canelo had no interest going to 168 until Benavidez got popped for coke. That's a fact.
Speak the truth, please. Preach to the choir.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, Cal Smith was the best."
Are we still on? Hello? Gosh. Fuck. Sorry about the Discord. Discord fell off. Hold on a sec. Give me 2 seconds here. Discord's been a bit of a pain in the ass lately for me. But I will. Okay,
more
we're back.
Lucrative for Canelo than anybody he can fight right now.
Rarebreed, sorry, hold on, real quick. Rarebreed, sorry, I dropped out of the Discord, so people couldn't hear you. Could you just repeat what you said, please?
Yeah. So David Benavidez. You want me to start from the beginning?
Yes, please.
Did you?
I missed everything.
So I was saying, Canelo moved to 168 after David Benavidez got popped for a coke. That's a fact. Also, David Benavidez will not only be his toughest fight at 168, that'll be his most lucrative fight at 168. Mm-hmm. He's a Mexican. He can do it on Cinco de Mayo.
Honestly,
and unlike
why Cinco de Mayo? Yeah. That's not even
unlike Caleb Plant.
I'm sorry. I noticed.
Whatever.
I noticed it's the blacks that always say that Canelo fears Benavidez, man. What's up with that?
Hey, no,
he's trying the PDC. That's why.
But that is a fact. He didn't say or.
Who else other than Benavidez? Why does skin color matter? Who other than Benavidez in 168 is a tough fight for Canelo?
Rare breed. But to be honest, I feel like they would have said that about any opponent. Like let's say for example the timeline was different and Canelo would have fought Benavidez first, and he didn't fight, let's say, Billy Joe or Caleb Plant. It would have been like, oh, Caleb Plant would have been his hardest test because he's slick. Or Billy Joe would have been his hardest test because he's slick. Like, it would have been the same thing.
They're building the fight right now. They're going to fight Benavidez, but at least...
we don't know that.
I really personally, I like Benavidez a lot. I like him. I like to me, he's a fighter. You know what I mean? He's not, just athletic. He's a fighter. He's the type of kid to throw hands in the street. He's just a fighter. And you can hear it you see it in his eyes and the way he talks. Here's the problem for me is he's very upright. He got to get his head off a straight line. If you go back, and that's because he's been dominating guys he's been fighting. He's not been really worrying about too much what's coming back. And when you got smoke coming at you that hits hard as Canelo and he keeps his head in a straight line upward, that could be a problem for him. Just
But
saying.
can I
Just put it
say
out there.
can I say something about that?
Way to
He's
go
not
with the
exactly
coke,
George
right?
Foreman.
Straight line.
Can I just say something about that? He's not exactly George Foreman in there. He does something that's very sneaky, where he'll fight upright, and then when you least expect it, he'll lean back and then lean forward again and pop you with combos. That's very unorthodox and dangerous, especially since he can pop. So he's not just
Misleading.
he's not
He's got
Antonio
more skills than you
Margarito.
think.
He's slow off the mark. Good combinations, though.
Yeah, he's not Antonio Margarito where he's gonna lean forward and block shots. He really does have a bizarre type of defense, and the fact that he has good firepower, better than Charlo, if you ask me, at 168. I think that would be a fight. I don't know if he beats Canelo, but I think he gives him perhaps the toughest fight out of anybody out there between 168 and 175. Well, no, except with the exception of Beterbiev.
Beterbiev.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, Beterbiev.
A lot of Triple G in there too, BDA.
Oh,
There's a lot of tips and tricks in there. I'm telling you, he learned a lot from Triple G, bro. He took a lot off of Triple G.
That's true.
Hey, what about David? I think David Morrell could give Canelo a good fight too.
Well, Gonzalo's pretty high on Morrell.
Yeah, he's really good.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Yeah,
get him ran into some shit like a Vargas. You're gonna go out like Fernando Vargas, get all fucked up.
Pete, you're 100% right. Pete, you're 100% right. Those 24 rounds with Triple G were the best thing that ever happened to Canelo. And think about the confidence, the magnitude of those fights. And that 10th round, he was out on his feet for a few seconds when he came back to the corner. And you know, Ronaldo was like, "You all right? You all right?" Because he was stuck and he was buzzing. But to survive that, come back, that's a big confidence builder. You know, steel sharpens steel.
I was talking about, I was talking about Benavidez picking up from Triple G from sparring with him.
Oh, yeah. Well, sparring Triple G, true. Yeah, but I was talking about, Canelo, because if you look at it, look at just Canelo's, just look the way his progression is from up to, he's almost changed his style totally from the time pre Triple G and post Triple G. He's more of a hunter destroyer.
He put his contracts.
There's a lot of Triple G haters.
What's that?
Be careful how you say that. There's a lot of Triple G haters on here.
I love Triple G.
Hey, speaking of loving,
but his career definitely was, how do I say, it was incomplete. Like, based on the skill that he has, his resume is not as good as it should have been. It's not his fault all the way. Yeah, I know it's not his fault. But
hey, when Benavidez fought Chiron, there were a few times where Chiron fucking snapped Benavidez' head back, and he was smiling like it didn't hurt him, but you could tell it did hurt him.
Well, I mean, he's always gonna be there to be hit a little bit because he doesn't move the head all that much except when he's leaning back. He's more of a parrying type guy, but I think it's also one of those cases where he's so focused on the offense because he knows the other guy can't hurt him. That he's liable to get hit, but he can. That's why I would like to see him fight a puncher because the last puncher he fought, correct me if I'm wrong, was Anthony Durrell.
Benavidez does not.
Yeah, Anthony Durrell. I don't know. Benavidez, I feel, is more overrated of a fighter. He doesn't really showcase the tools that you really need to go against Canelo. You really have to be doing everything against Canelo. Like his high guard game.
I love all the reasons why it's not a good fight. Like, he does coke, he take away, but he can't fight no. Well then Canelo should get in there and smoke. But like somebody said before,
Canelo should be able to smash.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why like this motherfucker's looking to give you cockatoo. He almost gave you a guy fighting in a gym, and all right, the guy was doing.
Pete, you're breaking up, man. Pete, you're breaking up, man. It's when you're in that car. That
he tried to give you McAdoo. There's a reason why he tried to give you McAdoo.
All right. Well, listen. Well, I mean, the thing about Benavidez is though, I would like to see the Benavidez fight.
I do think. Oh, sorry.
I would like to see the Benavidez fight, but fucking, he hasn't really fought anybody either, so he's not that marketable. That's one excuse they could come up with to not fight him, and he doesn't have a title. And like I said earlier, Canelo seems to be obsessed with. Well, somebody else said it rather in the chat. He's obsessed with the O or with the titles. Hey, speaking of O's and undefeated records, Sean Porter was in the headlines in this last week when he said that Jaron Ennis was overrated. Then Jaron Ennis came back and said, "I think Crawford hit him too hard." Now Sean Porter's coming back. Sean Porter's coming back, and he says, "I think that probably is the wrong term to use. I think maybe unproven." So, but then he says, "I feel like he's proven." So, which one is it, Sean? Is he unproven or?
Can I say something?
It's both.
Well, if you listen, I listened to. I went and listened to it to see what he was saying, and it was. Oh, sorry, recognize you saying something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it was me.
I was talking. Yeah. Hold on. I was saying it's both of them. Okay, both. So when you hear Rare Breed talking about he'll wipe out anybody, my question to Rare Breed: who did he beat? Right. So Rare Breed is overhyping him. Now, to say unproven, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. More like he's unproven. He's not a proven commodity. He hasn't fought top level competition and smoked them. You know what I'm saying? So as of right now, he is unproven. Yeah, real quick. And if you're hyping him up that he could beat everybody, then that makes him a hype job because he hasn't beaten anybody.
Bingo. And that's what, and I recognize that's exactly what Porter was said. It was kind of taken out of context. That's the point he was making. He's like, everybody's anointing this kid king of the division before he's fought anybody. That's all. I don't think Porter was disrespecting him. I think he was just being honest.
No way. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Way.
Also, you got to keep in mind,
gentleman, bro.
He called him
gentleman.
He said he reminds him of a welterweight Roy Jones. So keep that in mind.
He was giving him some veteran advice. He was giving him some veteran advice to slow down, or for everybody else to slow down about him. But he wasn't trying to. I don't think I've ever heard Sean Porter say disrespectful. I'm even in the heat of the moment. Have you ever heard him mouth off to anybody? He's like a front man. He's like, he's like.
No, he didn't mean it by disrespect. He just used the wrong word.
I mean, he wasn't putting him down. He's retired already. He's not challenging to a fight. He's just saying basically what I was saying, but way better. I was just saying, be careful before you fucking send this kid into a Vargas situation. If you're right and you can beat everybody, then you're right. If you're wrong, you're way, way, way devastatingly wrong. For what?
Like they're talking about putting him in there with like somebody like Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford. I think those guys hurt him bad. I think they with the experience.
Recognize. Let's say what we already know about the kid. We know he hasn't fought the best yet, but what we do know is he's definitely the most athletic 147.
Well, athletic and you I think
what consensus,
right? Like muscle.
The most physically gifted in terms of power, speed,
twitch muscle. That's undetermined. That's undetermined.
What constitutes athleticism?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Athleticism.
Virgil Ortiz.
But you cannot mold the experience. It's like incremental steps. You're going to throw him in there with somebody who's going to be able to take him 12 rounds when he's never been 12. As an example, don't sharpshoot me. I don't want to trigger nobody. He might be the world beater, but you got to let him. You got to let him progress to that. You're going to throw him in there with a guy like Errol Spence or somebody, and he's going to fucking break his jaw off his face in the 12th round, which he's never been in before.
Well, if he beats Errol Spence,
Look, you agree Loma's better than Salido? Yes, right? But he did not have experience enough not to get worked in that fight. The same could happen to this Boots kid. The one thing I will say is that I wouldn't mind if they would set some of these younger guys up with each other, like Virgil, because there's something cool about that Pacquiao Marquez fight happening when they were prospects like that. You know what I mean? Like let them fight early.
Yeah, they should be fighting someone like Stanionis, or something.
And what Porter should have said straight up was he has all the tools to be an elite welterweight: the length, the speed, quick, fast twitch fibers, the athleticism. He has all those tools. Let's see if he can bring it. Does he have the only two things we have to really know? His chin and intestinal fortitude. If he has those two things, there's really nothing that's going to stop him because he has all the other things he's gifted at.
Yep. That's all I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
On those things, do we really know? Because he does have the tools. So you could see just by watching his footage, right? But it's the same thing with like a fighter like Roy Jones Jr. We all know that Roy Jones Jr. is super athlete, but we didn't know how athletic he was until he fought James Toney. And he's like flying all over the ring, dude. He just jumps at him.
Well, 30th. I think Anna's a better boxer than Roy Jones was.
Oh,
it was like his 30th
I'm talking about
his 30th fight. It was like his 20-something fight, and they were the same age with each other. That's not putting Roy in there at that age with like, I don't know who the fuck was like the big banger.
I don't know. James Toney, all-time great fighter. Crazy. Philly shell technician.
It was
crazy.
One of my favorites.
Tony didn't really jab or lead, so it's like doesn't really matter.
They had the same experience going in that fight. There wasn't this like.
No, James Toney was like considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the game during that time.
He was, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind too.
Well, he was
that
good at fighting. He wasn't
mind,
the greatest at boxing.
You have to keep in mind that when James Toney fought Roy Jones, there was still a little bit of doubt because he fought Hopkins and nobody really knew who Hopkins was. So the fact that he went 12 rounds with him made people think, oh, Roy Jones is overrated, blah, blah, blah. Then he went in there and schooled James Toney, and that's when people said, whoops, all right, now we get it. But, okay, so with Jaron Ennis, listen, Sean Porter's acting too nice, man. He should have said, you know what, Jaron Ennis, I think you're overrated, and if you got a problem with that, come to my house. We'll have a little powwow in the front lawn, see who really is the best.
He called him out. Jaron Ennis called him out on Twitter. He said he's not coming back out of retirement. So if you're gonna, why wasn't he saying this while he was active?
He's telling him to calm down. You're taking it the wrong way. I don't think he meant that. What was the original statement by Porter? Anybody know? Did anybody have like a?
I mean, I can't say it verbatim, but basically, he said
this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to get views for his podcast. So
does anybody have anything close to the statement?
Listen, I can tell you that he said that the fans overrate him, and he's overrated due to the fan base and people thinking that he can wash everybody in the division based on his skill set, and, his youth and his athleticism and whatnot. But that's where he was saying
overrated, or he told them the fans were overrating him.
Right, the fans.
Was he saying the fans need to slow down, or was he saying Jaron Ennis is less than who he is? No, he's saying the fans need to slow down.
That's exactly what he said. He didn't say anything about him.
So Ennis took it the wrong way, like it was personal.
Yeah.
Like, because you guys, dude, I'm retired, bro. Fuck off.
And what separates champions is the intestinal fortitude, usually, and that's why I miss 15 rounds. Those championship fights should still be 15 rounds.
So, Jimmy, you want to see people? You want to see boxers dying? Is what you're saying?
Right.
Jimmy, I just thought it was go back to 15.
Jimmy, you say that.
Boots might be the best ever, but he also might be.
I'm sorry, brother. I can't hear you.
Yeah, Jimmy, you say that, but like in kickboxing, Muay Thai, you get like 4 or 5 rounds, and you get like enough action there. So,
I'm with you. It's because it's 4 or 5 rounds, so they know they have to punch it all in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So
I think it's a trade. I think, yeah. But I'm talking about conditioning. Those last 3 rounds.
Without dying these days. They can't even make it to 12 these days.
But how many fights do you see? Like if
stiff, weak.
So
all right, real quick. Let Irish Andrew Ward say something. He's screaming over everybody. Go ahead, Irish.
These kids these days, they can't even make it to 12 rounds without dying. Oh, jeez.
Well, somebody doesn't have sympathy. All right, Jimmy, go ahead, man. What are you gonna
say? I was saying 12 rounds.
I said Jimmy, not Jimmy.
That's what I always liked about the championship round.
Am I on delay here? Can everybody hear me right away? Or?
No.
I can hear you, man. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Jimmy. I said Jimmy. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically my point. I just missed the 15 because it's that's when you had to really bite down and really go. The guys who put in the work. It always cream rises to the top when you fucking make it. The more difficult it is. And that's why Marvin Hagler was so awesome. Marvin Hagler would say, you might be quicker, you might hit harder, you might have better defense, better footwork, but you're not going to be in better condition. And he would say that with a big smile on his face. And how many fights did he win solely on his conditioning? A lot of them. Hey, who's cleaning the garage? Take a break.
Yeah, sorry. Intergalactic.
Hey, whoever's working in their garage, fucking mute yourself.
Intergalactic, we got you on mute, man. Can I just say to Intergalactic, I've been trying to tell him for 15 minutes, we got you on mute for the past half hour because we can hear you cleaning the dishes there and fixing the lawnmower. You got to put yourself on mute, man.
Is it me?
He's doing dishes back there.
Like he's cleaning
The
the lawnmower.
hardest worker in boxing.
I think one of the best middleweight fights ever was that fight. But anyways, I'm done. Go Chibi.
Boots could maybe beat Spence. Whoa, hold on. He can maybe beat Spence because listen. Spence hasn't fought in like 2 years.
Yes, he could probably, like you said, maybe beat him. He could probably maybe beat a lot of guys in that weight division that are the top guys. But you got to start putting him in there with opponents that have somewhat of a chance of giving them an upset.
Yeah. Recognize.
Okay,
it's going to be a Triple G situation.
Let me give some reference here.
They're not going to want to fight him
because
no, it's never going to be a Triple G situation. I disagree with you. It's never. He's an American guy. He will get that situation. He will get it. He'll get it.
Think about Russell Magastaya.
Triple G didn't get it, right? He's like this Eastern Euro guy that just doesn't really bring. He's not going to sign with these Western promoters, right? He's just not going to do it at that time, and that wasn't going to happen. So basically, they just didn't want to do business with him, and they know their man will get beat more than likely.
Yeah, but regardless of your nationality, if you're knocking people out in spectacular fashion like Triple G was back in the day, you're going to start getting hype, and that's how Triple G eventually got fights.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, though, guys. Europe is getting bigger and bigger, man. I mean, it encompasses Kazakhstan now, apparently.
Yeah, of course. But remember, these are when the point is that look, is Boots at the level where people will start ducking him? There's a good chance that happens, but that it's going to be as bad as somebody who's a foreigner. The answer is no, man. Hell no. Yeah.
Isn't Virgil he's with
Golden Boy.
PBC, right?
Golden
Boy.
No, he's with
Golden Boy.
Yeah.
That fight ain't gonna happen.
Good luck with that.
The issue is that if you're a veteran and if you really know your shit like Spence or Crawford, you'll fight him right now rather than next week. I'm saying you guys think you think he's a threat. You're a fan of
get better.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, Mayweather, how do you think, I'm just saying, like, Mayweather, Canelo, and these guys picking these guys off young. You better do it now rather than later. And the problem is that you want to see the fight, but you're thinking like it's a video, like it's a gladiator, where you're just letting them fucking go until they die. But it's the kid's career, so they're gonna bring him along.
Keith Thurman talks shit about Boots and his Sean Porter talks shit about Boots and his like, come on, what's going on here?
Yeah, Keith Thurman said he didn't know who he was.
I didn't hear what Keith said.
Keith said he did when they asked him about him. Keith Thurman said, "Who? I don't know who that is." That's a pretty big insult. Of course, he knew who he was. He just didn't want to say his name.
Did you hear what he said about him recently?
No, I did not.
He said
that. Can I say something about Booty?
Wait, let Rebri finish. Go ahead. What did he say?
So he said that he knows who he is now because he started watching tape on him. He said he reminds him of himself, a little bit of Floyd, Pernell Whitaker, and a little bit of Roy Jones. Does that sound like somebody he wants to fight?
Nah. Oh, if that's what he really said, nah, bro. I'm going with what Sean Porter said. That man, if that's what people really said about him, then he's overrated, bro. Like that's too many fighters in one.
I don't see Sean Porter saying that. I gotta be honest with you, bro. I never heard him say a negative thing about any fighter. That's too many. Or honestly, he just doesn't seem like that kind of guy, man.
He's not as slick as Pernell, but I don't know. He reminds me of like a Pretty Boy Floyd, but bigger version. Not as good defense.
He might be Adrian Broner. He might be Adrian Broner, just bigger than everybody.
Adrian doesn't have his discipline.
That's too many styles.
He's a good fighter.
It might be too many styles in one, but that's how talented this dude is.
Y'all about to make me not even like him no more.
Floyd Mayweather fights in a certain style because he has weaknesses. Every fighter's got a weakness, so they pattern their style in a certain way to protect their weaknesses while making their qualities shine. If you mix all these talents into one, obviously, where's the weaknesses? You can't be like, this dynamic fighter, he's a badass. No, you
Ali.
Yeah,
You got
you do a
everything.
lot of that. You gotta have like 3 or 4 things that you do well to become a world champion. Like Big
Wait,
Garcia
what
said.
was? This
But
is
at the
this
same
is not a
time,
silly
you got
question, but
resources you gotta protect.
If they
what
were
was Pretty
talking
Boy
like that,
Flo's weaknesses?
when it came to Shakur Stevenson, that'll make sense. But Boost Ennis, like I like him, you feel me? But like I ain't really see him really get tested yet. That's why I think he should fight a Virgil Ortiz to see where he's really at. So then
No, they asked
when
Virgil. They asked
Pretty,
Virgil Ortiz about that fight. He said that we need to take care of the old guys first. That's a fight for down the line. When they asked Boots Ennis, he said he wants to fight him right now.
And yeah, you know,
pretty,
All right, good.
It makes
Check
more
this
money.
out. Hey, check
Wait,
this out, man. I'm telling you this right now. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was going
Floyd
to
Mayweather.
say real.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, it's all right, brother. I was going to say real quick. I think Ortiz was just being honest. And I think Boots was just singing the song there. I think Ortiz is honest. Obviously, he hasn't even got a title yet. These are the two young guys, relatively the same age, right around 24 each. Obviously, two separate promotional companies. It wouldn't be ideal. Right now, it would be them both getting belts, and then it would be much more lucrative. So I think Ortiz was being honest. That is a fight. Let's get rid of the old class, these old god, and then like that would be a fight down the line. I just agree with Ortiz on that. That's all.
Yeah, and they
How
need
old's
to build the name.
How old's Ortiz?
23.
Ortiz is like 22, 23.
Right.
Yeah. Well, part of the experience thing that you can only get through experience. You can't be born with it. You can't. The incremental part of it is learning what in the ring, going 4 rounds to 6 rounds to 8 rounds to 10 rounds, and it's also learning what your career is and what playing fucking games is. So Ortiz said that, yeah, but he don't know jack shit either. So if you stick a microphone in the kid's face enough times, he's gonna say what he thinks. That don't mean he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh,
so
I was gonna mention real quick.
Tomorrow he'd be in that ring. You get it? So it's like
going back to just one thing. I was gonna mention real quick. To Rare Breed, Floyd Mayweather's weakness. It's not a bad thing. He couldn't probably sit in the pocket against a power puncher and do what he does. You know, I'll point a guy. Usually, I'll point at a guy by throwing a 1-2-3, maybe a 1-2 punch combination, then circling out. You know, and then getting back to 1-2 and winning a round by a punch or two. You know, that's basically it. So he couldn't do that by maintaining himself inside the pocket for a sustained amount of time. So that's probably what his weakness is. He couldn't shine like that. He couldn't shine like that if he tried to fight a different style. He couldn't.
Well, can I say something about shining? Can I say something about shining?
Yeah.
Adrian Broner, somebody mentioned Adrian Broner earlier. He started off a little shaky. Remember, he had he struggled against Marvin Quintero, I think the guy's name was. Then he struggled a little bit against Ponce de Leon. Then he ended up and then they ended up matching him well. And he was looking, I mean, even the casual boxing fan was like, man, this guy's like Floyd Mayweather, but with power. He was looking very, very good at lightweight. And then he made a mistake of jumping all the way to welterweight and for the money. And that's what happened. So if Boots Ennis can, we didn't know about Broner's problems until after, right? Once he stepped up, and that's where we saw his weaknesses. So it's the same thing with Jaron Ennis right now. We haven't seen him really get pushed to see what his weaknesses were. Even though, like for example, Thunderdome has done a lot of film studies on the guy, and he's pointed out a couple.
Hey,
you think, well, hold on.
I'm not.
Well, hold on. Please, Thunderdome is a hater, right, really?
Yes. I don't know. He's always calling fighters Amero bums or whatever. I feel he has some kind of bias against American fighters.
Oh, we're gonna need a kumite. We're gonna need a kumite.
Just on a different demographic.
We're gonna need a kumite between Rare Breed and Thunderdome.
He likes that Soviet Eastern style boxing.
If they would have said these things about Shakur Stevenson or something, I would have looked at him like, yeah, I guess you're a little bit right. But with Bruce Ennis, I just want him to fight, hefty. If he fight heftier competition, because even if he beat Chief Thurman, bro, I honestly could see that. Like that's nobody to me.
What's the difference?
He would have to go against a young lion.
No. If he beats Keith Thurman, that is a statement. Especially if he beats the shit out of him, like he really beats him.
He beats Keith Thurman in devastating fashion.
That water's way too deep. That water's way too deep.
It's just if he beats Keith Thurman, I wouldn't care.
You know, I'm in with
BDA mentioned Broner.
One at a time. One at a time, please.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Butcher.
No, just how old is Butsenis? Because he's not ready. When is he gonna be ready? What is this now? Like the
24.
Yeah,
24.
So, how old was Thomas Hearns when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard? You know what I mean? I know these are legends, but still, that's the right age, man.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, my friend.
Yeah, but you know what it was? You know what it was, Mucho? There was less politics. There were less politics. That's the reason why those guys fought early. And that was the way to make good money. The way to make good money. You see, these guys get guaranteed contracts now, and they can fight anybody and get pretty much the same money. Where back then, if you wanted to make good money, you had to fight the Tommy Hearns. You had to fight Wilfredo Benitez.
Guys, what happened to Thomas Hearns after he lost against Sugar Ray Leonard?
Nothing. He just worked his way back up and basically was fucking everybody up again.
He had a loss.
About the same age?
He had one loss. Who cares? He made it because he was so good that a loss didn't define his career. He managed to.
Here's another thing, Bucho. He gave Sugar Ray Leonard such a good fight that everybody was like, "Yo, I think if they run it back, I got Tommy Hearns."
That's my point.
Sometimes you can lose a fight.
About Pacquiao and Marquez. Recognize my bad. That's my point about Pacquiao.
You the modern day respect.
Hey, do it now if they're peers. If they're similarly situated in their careers. I'm not saying I'm the one that brought up Virgil. Like I like to see that, like a Pacquiao Marquez 1, 2. You can run it back 4 times throughout their career. But to throw Boots, we're talking about throwing Boots. How many rounds has Boots been? 10, 8 or 10?
6. No, he hasn't gone past
6 or 7.
Hey, I'm curious. Can I ask?
So to throw him in with a guy who's got 15 more.
BDA wants to say that.
Well, I wanted to ask Pete something because Pete, it's well known you're a white guy. And I think your famous quote was that it's always been the privilege of the few to hunt the many, meaning you like to hunt human beings. Who would you be rooting for, or who would you pick between Virgil Ortiz, the Mexican, or Jaron Ennis, the African American?
From what I've seen, Viva la Raza. No, that's just based on what I've seen. I like his power, but I'm saying but like Bucho's saying, if he did beat now, that's not to say that Boots couldn't come back. But you see, they're similar. They're 10-round or 10-round guys. But I brought up Broner. He's way bigger, way stronger, way more gifted than fighting. But you brought up even a veteran like Costa Tszyu, gave him a fucking hard time. Am I right? Gave him problems.
The only thing Adrian Broner and Boots have in common is skin color. That's where it ends.
Well, I gotta go back. Gotta break down the specifics.
Did you just say Broner?
Broner's a strong guy. We don't know how strong Boots is. We know he punches harder, but Broner's
you see how big he is? He's the biggest 147 pounder.
But that doesn't necessarily equate to strength. He could get hit with a solid shot, and he could be all over the place. We haven't seen that.
We saw Dolorma hit him with a solid shot. He ate it.
Yeah, Broner had a solid chin.
When Broner was fighting these little midgets on HBO, 6 or 2, whatever he was fighting at, 126.
He's a white boy.
He was just marching him down.
Okay, this is gonna sound corny. This is gonna sound corny. This is gonna sound corny a little bit, but the biggest difference is Jaron Ennis is actually committed to the sport. He's dedicated. Adrian Broner, once he got to a certain level, you see what he is. Like he's not the type of guy. Jaron Ennis has a father who boxed. He had 2 brothers.
Adrian Broner can spell.
One at a time, fellas.
If Adrian Broner were to fight, I would still watch a fight from Adrian Broner. Just because
Adrian Broner is that Floyd tried to train him, and Floyd isn't that good at coaching.
No,
he's a good fighter.
The only thing that I was comparing is the strength. They're different fighters, and actually Broner's kind of boring. All I was saying is we don't know how strong Boots Ennis is. Because we saw with Barrios, you could be tall, long, and lanky, but as soon as you get hit with the hard shot, you can be all over the place, right?
Yep.
We haven't seen that opposition, that fight that would tell us, okay, you know, he's at the level of Virgil Ortiz. Not because Virgil Ortiz is a great fighter, just because he's slightly more proven than him. He's taking that step-up fight, and Boots Ennis really hasn't. He displayed something against Lipinets and knocked out Delorme round. Okay, I give you that. But let's just see a little bit more so we can start making better
Virgil's more proven? Because Virgil is seen as the easier fight for these guys, so they take him instead of Boots.
Didn't Boots just turn down Maurice Hooker?
Maurice Hooker?
He was injured. He was injured.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he just turned it down. He didn't want that.
He's fighting some Cletus next or something.
Hey, can I ask you fellas, because we didn't get to this, obviously because it happened Saturday, what did you guys think of Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios?
That was the most corny thing ever. It was corny, bro. As soon as I said that, as soon as Barrios got hit, if Barrios would have went straight to the body, like I said, he would have won the fight. The dude is a cornball, bro. Like, I really want Keith Thurman just to retire. Like, he's a fucking, like, bro, we got to deal with this. Like, really, do y'all really want him to win the belt? Like, bro, like, just get him out of there. Somebody got to get him out of there, man.
Hey, Barrios is a fucking cornball too on our end, man. Listen, there should be a quota for somebody that wants to use the Aztec entrance like that, man. Don't give it to fucking everybody. We need to snatch that back.
That's true, man. When you snatch it.
If Barrios were to get a little bigger, get a little stronger, I think Barrios would be a force to reckon with in the 147 division. And I think Barrios, what they need to not do with Barrios is throw him out there with the Wolves. That's what I'm worried about. They might just throw him out there with the Wolves, but if he just like train more, take a little fight, like take the next 3 fights pretty light, get your rhythm right, I think that Barrios will really be a force to reckon with.
No. He's not even at the level of a Josecito Lopez. At least with Josecito Lopez, the Riverside Rocky, you'd know you were in a fight, and he would probably win some and lose some. But this guy's already stepping up, and he's getting beat up. He's already becoming cannon fodder. So 3-4 fights on the line, if he faces tough guys, he's gonna be nothing but a step up because he's already taking beatings.
Honestly, I feel like sad truth of this is that PBC don't give a fuck about Mexicans, so of course they're gonna go throw him out there to the world. Don't give a fuck.
That's facts.
Wait a minute. They care about Mexicans. Come on, man.
PBC don't care about Mexicans. They don't.
If you're Mexican and you're signing with the PBC, that's the stupidest. I mean, I can't even.
So yeah, I feel bad for this guy.
It's my first time hearing this.
Well, I think the PBC
I just want to say to Mr. Vide's question, what about that fight? I just want to say I think Thurman did what he had to do to secure the Spence fight after Spence beats Ugas or gets the win. Whether he beats him is another story. But I think they're going to give him the win. It'll be if he doesn't, if it's close, they'll shade it to Spence. And I think the next fight after that will be Crawford. Not Crawford. Sorry, it'll be Thurman. It'll be They'll insert here to keep him away from Crawford.
Put it this way: if when it comes, I'm not going to say that Al Heyman doesn't care about Mexican fighters, but if it comes down to it, he ain't doing to his American stars what he's doing to the Mexican stars. In other words, he ain't never going to put Tank in there with Virgil Ortiz.
Exactly.
He won't do that because he knows what will happen. Tank will fucking die in that fight.
There you go.
So we're also waiting for one, so it doesn't make any sense.
I'm also talking about
it doesn't make any sense to you. It doesn't make any sense to you, right? Because maybe you condone that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Oh.
Matrix.
I don't get it. Why would he make him go almost 2 weight classes to fight Virgil Ortiz?
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. Why would he make Leo Santa Cruz go up in weight to fight a dude who's a way harder puncher than him?
There you go. Hey.
I know why. Because Leo Santa Cruz knows he's at a certain level, and fighting Tank Davis will be his biggest payday he'll ever have in his whole life.
So he did
That's
why.
Santa Ana looks at it that way, yeah, on his end, but the person that's supposed to be looking out for him is looking at it feeding Tank. So yeah, he's
looking out for him. He's giving him payday.
Look. If I had a son, right? I'm Puerto Rican. If I have my Spanish boys, and I had to, if Al Heyman said, "Yo, I want to fuck out of here, bro," because I know you're trying to use I know you're gonna try to use my boys You put one of your mans in there, that ain't
What
happening.
about that? What about
Hey, but what about that
one?
kid, Xander Zayas? He's a PVC.
What about
He's promoted, right?
No, he's top rank. He's top rank.
No, he's top rank,
what
bro.
about the one next to who
Yes.
have?
Nah, I know his father. I know his father. His father will never, ever let him go to PBC. Are you crazy?
Hey, recognize? Don't you recognize? Don't you?
Hey,
You
I think
play.
he's one of the youngest
Recognize.
people top rank ever signed. Sorry,
Recognize.
BDA.
Recognize. You play dominoes with Xander Zayas' father, right? Every Saturday, I think.
Nah, I just
Dominoes, motherfucker. Dominoes, motherfucker.
Domino, motherfucker.
No, but recognize makes a good.
Motherfucker, copy cool.
Can I say
Recognize-
this on the Thurman? When Barrios fought after the fight, the Thurman Barrios fight, did y'all hear Thurman like shading Barrios, bro? Like he was like, yeah, he didn't hit me as hard as he didn't hard. Oh yeah, those body shots that was before, that was in training. Like, bro, he was like downplaying the shit out of him. He couldn't even give him credit.
He said he did good, but not good enough.
Yeah, come on, man.
That was funny.
What I don't, but it's not even just when it comes to Mexican. What I don't like Al just did was he, in order to save face or whatever for the promotion, like I don't like he just put the kibosh on the Cruz fight. Like Ryan Garcia really wanted to fight Cruz, but Floyd probably said no because if Ryan does beat him and beats him a lot better than fucking, it's not going to make Tank look good. So right away, Al put the kibosh on that. So now we're forced to get him fight somebody else. Did you guys also see what Brona said? Basically repeated exactly what I've been saying. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the PBC is broke. They have no money. Fighters aren't getting paid. They say they're getting paid $1 million, but it's all conducive if the pay-per-view sells. And there's fighters out there not getting, all right, I can't say anymore. I'll be getting a call from Al Heyman, which I guarantee he did. And so he's biting off his own nose to spite his face, but he's talking about how he has to put everything on pay-per-view. If anybody expects any kind of money, it has to go on pay-per-view because the PBC doesn't have the money to pay them.
Hey, and actually, I saw in a webpage that actually that the PBC is broke because they already waste all the investors' money, so they don't have the money to even bring this like open that free fight. So they need, every fight since November, all the fight have been on pay-per-view. Even if they are bums fighting, it's because they don't have the money to pay like Fox, to pay Showtime their main hours to put their fighters, because they don't have the money to do that. So they're doing all this pay-per-view even though they don't make not even 30,000.
Well, brother, listen, that money that Waddell Reed investor money was gone by late 2017. That was said by Heyman's attorney in court when he said we're down to, I think, 800. No, yeah, they were down to $80 million they started out with $750 million in investor money, and it was supposed to be for 5 years.
Jimmy, the only way the only way I work with PBC is on the Canelo tip. You see, Canelo tells them, all right. Basically, Canelo looks at him in his eyes, said, "Give me 50 million, and then I'll fight one of your boys. If you can't come with 50, I'm out of here." Right? That's it. There's no contract. Matter of fact, Canelo tells him what to do. You give me 50, you get me this guy, and then go about your way. Smacks him in the ass, says, "Go about your way and go get me another 50 million and get me another fighter that I'm interested in fighting." That's the only way you work if you're Latino or Latin descent, right? Like you got a big Spanish audience. That's how you treat a guy like Al Heyman. Al Heyman is not interested in you. He's into building you so one of his American star fighters can knock you off. That's what he's interested in.
Yeah, look at Danny Garcia. So you guys think? So recognize. Hold up. You think that Al Heyman is basically racist against Hispanic fighters?
No. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I know he's shown a track record. It's like this, right? I got a Spanish stable. It's all a bunch of no matter what their race is, whether they're mulattoes, black, white, they all got Spanish names. And you start noticing that I'm taking my little black fighter, making him go up in weight to fight my other star, my other Spanish dude, who knocks his fucking head off because he's too big for him. And you start noticing that, right? And then some black star comes up to the Spanish dude, like, "Look, I don't give a fuck about any. Yo, that background noise is terrible, man. Shut that shit off. God damn.
But I don't think that's Al Heyman, though. I think that's Floyd Mayweather. I think Floyd is trying to use the same copy that he used for his own career, where he mostly fought Mexicans for Tank. Hello?
PBC the shit, man. That's just my personal opinion. I like PBC. I think
You like the paper? We're talking about protecting black fighters. PBC.
Well, King Bucho asked a good question. What do you like about the King Bucho asked a good question? What do you like about the PBC? The pay-per-views every week, or?
I like personally. They give out the big upsets.
I like that they're protecting the Kangs, man. That's what I like. You know?
PBC so broke, man. PBC so broke. If I find my cousin on PBC, it will be on pay-per-view for sure.
Well, listen, I can't hear Bucho. I don't know why. I can't even hear him speaking when he talks.
Well, it's because people were talking
he
over.
Made a great question. It's about the paper.
You know, there's too many people are talking. Too many.
Yeah,
people
that was
talking at once.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I heard what he said and relayed it. So at the end of the day, man, look, I'm looking at the schedule here for the boxing, and it looks like April and March is going to be pretty good. Speaking of something, also I forget before we leave. Amir Khan and Kell Brook already sold out as soon as the fight was announced. Now they're going on their little tour, and I think Amir Khan just said or suggested that Kell Brook is into dick. What do you guys think about that? Is Kell Brook, because that's been the rumor about him, that he loves the cock. Do you think that's appropriate to be saying in terms of smack talk, especially now with the wokeism going on? Do you think Amir Khan's going to get in trouble, or is the Muslim card going to bail him out? What do you guys think?
Who cares?
He's safe. He's safe with the Muslim card. They won't come at him for that.
He didn't even have to call him gay. That's just like
that fight is years.
Hey, wait a minute. Wasn't Khan the one beaten off on the internet about like 3 years ago? That's pretty gay, isn't it?
Did that happen?
Yeah, he was the one that was showing his erection on camera. And let's not forget, Anthony Joshua banged his wife, and he couldn't do anything about it. So that's a little.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Surprised Kell Brook hasn't said anything about that during the build-up to the fight.
I think Kell Brook is a classy guy, man, and I think his trash talk is just passing the limit.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember that he got stabbed in a golf course. I think it was before the Golovkin fight, and the rumor was that he was coming on to guys in the golf course, and that's why somebody stabbed him. I don't know if that's true or not. Did you guys hear that?
He got stabbed on the golf course.
Who got stabbed? What?
Kell Brook.
On the golf course. That's hilarious.
I heard that's
he got stabbed after playing 18 holes.
I heard he got stabbed by his boyfriend. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking you guys if you heard anything about those rumors that supposedly he was coming on to.
I heard that. Well, I heard it was outside a nightclub or something.
I mean, if you talk to any police officer, they'll tell you statistically they get a lot of calls where they got to go to assault cases where it's two gay guys assaulting each other.
Especially in the UK. No, this was in Spain. It was in a house party in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that rings.
Well, the Spaniards.
I didn't know that Kell Brook was gay, bro. This is the first time hearing this.
No. I have to say,
that rumor's been around for years about him, but I know his sister's smoking hot.
Why do you think they talk about chocolate brownies all the time? That's what I'm gonna say.
The golf course after 18 holes and 3 strokes.
Hey, wait a minute.
19th hole, man.
Recognize, was it you who's the one who brought up his sister? I didn't know about. Oh no, it was Stu. I think it was Stu. Yeah, his sister's fucking smoking hot.
No, not his James DeGale. James DeGale.
Yeah, that's DeGale. That's it, James DeGale. I'm sorry. I actually know whose sister's even hotter than her. Brendan Figueroa. Have you guys ever seen his sister?
Yeah.
Lomachenko's sister.
Lomachenko.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Lomachenko's sister is definitely smoking hot, but I will say James DeGale's sister is a little cutie too, boy.
Brendan Figueroa.
Yeah, Floyd was.
Yeah, Brendan Figueroa. Yeah. I'm gonna post her picture right now.
Yeah, I know.
She looks just like my sister, man. I swear to God.
Ah, jeez, Luis.
Yeah,
man, hook it up.
Listen, this is how they promote fights in the UK. You saw Wilder talking about Dillian White. He said that Dillian White was gay too.
Huh.
I'm not sure if that's true.
So that's how they do it in the UK, yeah?
That's how they do it. That gets more. It gets interest.
The Tyson Fury, I thought he was mad gay too at a chance. Maybe it's just UK fighters. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, Dillian White had a kid when he was 13, so I don't know about that. So.
Yeah, Dillian White was.
Fury always try to kiss his opponents and shit.
Yeah,
I think that was Chisora. The guy who was. Yeah, Chisora was the guy that was trying to make out with guys at the weigh-in. Now listen, I mean.
Yeah, you heard me? I said, yeah, he's gay.
Listen here. Near 5 years from this day, that kind of behavior will be illegal in the Caliphate of Lincolnshire.
The Lincolnshire? Nobody knows what you're talking about.
The Caliphate.
It should be.
The Islamic Reagans will put an end to that.
Well, I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
As we're talking about LGBT issues, right? You do know there's going to be like tranny refs, fucking boys holding cards during the rounds. There's going to be all that kind of shit.
Well, did you guys remember that in the NFL, one team in the NFL 3 years ago, they started introducing male cheerleaders, and one of them looked like Anthony Joshua. Look, let me show you.
That's not right.
I'm telling you, one of them looked like Anthony Joshua, but with bigger teeth. It was disturbing.
Well, that's not working out. Basically, that's not working out for them anymore.
Oh, it didn't?
By the way, I wanted to ask you, BDA, when are you going to do that Renaissance talk again?
Oh, man, we did it yesterday or the day before.
What? What was that?
No, but hold on. It wasn't a completely open panel. And what I do with the second Renaissance is we go live and then I take them off because they can be a little bit too controversial. YouTube now it's dangerous. Yeah, that's why what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be moving over second Renaissance. We're gonna try to move it over to Rumble or Odyssey because you can stream over there now. So pretty much say whatever.
We could talk all the shit we want.
Yeah, they key on the keywords and stuff like that. So they'll just cut you off.
I wasn't talking about boxing, man, but I thought that conversation was going real good. That's why I was asking.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we were talking. Aldo came by, Super Anderson Aldo, and he made us talk about some real interesting stuff. We really went off the deep end there, talking about 9/11 and stuff like that. So, man, it was interesting. Other than that, right now here, I think unless somebody wants to bring something else up, I think we're pretty much done.
The last thing I wanted to bring up, it wasn't who you guys are going for with the Jermell Charlo versus Castaño.
Anybody want to go with that?
Probably Jermell.
Castaño.
I think that.
I got Castaño.
Charlo, because Mexicans or Hispanics get robbed at PBC.
Stop saying that.
Oh, no, that's why it's not going.
Don't get robbed at PBC, man. Y'all just saying that shit.
Knocked out.
I've seen a couple Mexicans bumping in the PBC, man. Like, bro, come on now. Y'all gotta give.
I have a question about that.
A little bit of credit.
Who can at PBC that's a Mexican fighter can they like promote to be a star anyways?
All right, what about that one Mexican that fought on the undercard at the tournament fight? I forgot his name, Hugo or some shit. Fuck, I can't even remember his name. But he was undefeated. He's like 20 years old. He's fighting at 147. It was real. Like they can promote him, and he got a nice boxing style.
I'm not saying I would never work with Al Heyman, but Al Heyman will have to. He would have to work with me, not the other way around.
Oh.
I'm saying like the Canelo situation. You know what I'm saying? The Canelo tells him what to do. He says, "Go get me my $50 million and get me an opponent."
Recognize? Would you make Al Heyman do your laundry too, or pick it up?
I mean, if he pissed me off about something, yeah, I'll be like, "Yo, do my laundry."
Al Heyman's a blood clot, kick him out.
Like, go clean my laundry, bro, because you playing yourself.
Hey, by the way,
what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, a few days ago, I did do my research on the Shakur Stevenson and Will Color fight, and my thoughts at the end of the day, both of them signed the contract now, and it's dead. Like this thing's happening April 30th, regardless of the situation. And after this fight, we're not going to hear about Oscar Valdez ever again. So let's all get ready for that.
Thank God.
Wow.
Listen, I hear you. I feel the enthusiasm. I think if I had to pick my money, I'd pick Shakur, but that's a good fight, bro.
I don't know why you think it's going to be a beat up.
Not going to be as competitive as you think it is.
Oscar T-Tom Valdez is not winning this fight. It's going to be a blowout. That's going to stop by round 7.
So are we saying that? Are we saying that? By the way, Jimmy, your webcam's on. Yeah. Okay. Are we saying then that he's gonna? Because I mean, Jamel Herring, not for nothing, but in hindsight, the guy was already scared. Shakur Stevenson from the get-go. He was trying to placate him in the build-up to the fight. He was trying to be his friend. Even Shakur Stevenson was like, man, we're not friends, we're fighting each other. So it seemed like Jamel Herring had already lost the fight before he even started. Valdez, say what you want about his cheating, but at least he's got a cheater's confidence where he knows he's got the best in his bloodstream and he can crack a little bit. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be that easy.
And Reynoso's a good trainer.
The boy already got exposed by that Brazilian. It's a lose-lose for him at the end of the day. Like after you get beat up that bad, you look at the Brazilian fighter face, then you look at his face, and the dude lost that fight.
If you look at Valdez's career, when he gets hit, he usually swells up like that. It's not like he just took a beating and this was like the only one. No, he was like undefeated, and usually in the other fights, when he got hit, he would swell up the same way. I'm not saying that he didn't lose. I'm just saying, don't think that this guy just ran through him in the sense that he put hands on him. He wasn't swelling up like that before. He was always swelling up.
Let's be honest with you.
Even Valdez in the fight, he broke his jaw and he continued and he won the fight by knockout.
A lot of people said that it was a robbery.
If he would have never started showboating and everything, he would have won that fight. And like I said, this is lose for Oscar Valdez. And I know Oscar Valdez is going to come 110% because he knows who he's fighting.
It's not a lose for him, man. It's not a lose for him. If he wins, god damn, he'll shut a guy like you up, right? And if he loses, he lost to a guy that people perceive as a pound for pound great fighter. So it's not a lose-lose. He actually can win something.
Or more of a fundamental cherry picker. I mean, come on now. Look at his competition. Then on top of that, I don't understand how you can literally watch somebody like Stevenson and say that you enjoy it from an entertainment perspective. It's ridiculous.
The thing is, Stevenson brings everything to the table in that weight class to me. Like I like the one thing I love.
Power? Does he bring that? Does he bring power? That's the first thing you think when you think about.
What do you mean? I mean, he beat up people. He basically hitting David Benavidez. He beating people up so bad that the referee got to stop the fight. So, and I'm enjoying it.
I don't know who that is, but their connection's real bad. But I don't know. Is it Kai Kimura? Is it Kai Kimura? Who's his trainer?
Hi. How you doing? What you said? Sorry.
Is his trainer Kai Kimura?
I don't know. What is the guy's name?
No, Shakur.
The only thing I'm saying is, the only thing I was just saying is just about the fight. It's going to be a real good fight. I think that Oscar Valdez is going to come 110%, and he's going to be on tea time. But at the end of the day, for me, I think we should just all tune into that one.
Well,
I'm just saying, if Shakur is what everybody
think it.
Yeah, he is. If Shakur is what everybody say he is, he's a pound for pound fighter. I don't see how it's a lose for Oscar because apparently he's like a pound for pound fighter. If you lose to him and you put up a good fight,
when I said lose, I meant a lose in the ring. I didn't mean by like his whole fame and fortune. Like we all know at the end of the day he's getting paid.
Well, in the ring, if he knocks him out, he wins.
Listen. The only reason Shakur will win is because he was on the Mike Tyson podcast. And Shakur, Valdez hasn't been on there yet.
All right.
So he already has that advantage right there.
That's a heck of a way of picking a fight. But I wanted to say something, man. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, he's the favorite because I think he's the more skilled guy. But I'm very skeptical about him beating up Valdez because I think I'm not sure about Shakur Stevenson's mentality. Remember, he got caught by Nakatila, and he said, as soon as I got caught, I said, you know what, I'll look good the next time. So to me, that's indicative of a guy that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not too confident.
Great point.
Yeah, did he say the next time or the next one? He's going to go to he's got a pot shot to a decision. I reckon that's what. That's how he's going to win that fight.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to beat
It's going to be
Valdez.
ugly, and none of us are going to enjoy it. It's going to be another typical shit that he does. The other guys, I mean, Valdez isn't going to lay down for him like Herring did.
That's one thing you have to say about Valdez, that he always finds a way to win, even though the last fight, disregard that, but in the sense of it, his whole career, he's been in these wars, but he's always found a way to win, meaning he wants to make it into a fight. And he's going to push Shakur and to try to make it into a fight. We'll see what Shakur has to offer in that sense, or if he's going to get on the back foot. Because he'll lose already. If he does that, he'll lose.
All right, that's interesting.
Maybe not on the scorecards. Maybe not on the scorecards, but from a fan's perspective, he'll come on the losing. He might win, but he's not going to be that superstar that people are thinking he's going to be. Right. People don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for everybody. Do you guys think maybe I was thinking about Shakur Stevenson, and that he says he's going to be the next Floyd Mayweather and everything, that he's even fighting like Mayweather style, the Money Mayweather style, but he's not fighting the Pretty Boy style. And this is a question. Do you think the post Mayweather era for like African American boxer, do you guys think that it's like a good way to do, or that formula is going to work for everybody?
It's a bad way to market. It's a bad way to market yourself.
Yeah, exactly. What these guys are doing is it's not good. First of all, what they don't understand about that time versus now is that, number one, Floyd is a lot better than these guys. Not just a little bit, a lot. Okay, I'm just telling you from my perspective, my eyes. When I look at Shakur, I don't see the next Floyd Mayweather. I see the next Sean Bay Mitchell if he's lucky.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It's not, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sean Bay was really good. No, hold on. Let me finish. Sean Bay Mitchell was a really good fighter. Okay, you obviously didn't see him in his time. It's just that he ran into some really tough fighters that and he had some bad breaks. Okay, now what they're trying to do is incorporate the personality, not so much the style. And what they don't understand is that Floyd's a lot smarter than these guys were. Even at their age, he was way smarter than them.
Well, can I say something about that too?
He was beating former pound for pound, former world champions.
He was better than them.
He was dealing with guys that were just much more dangerous. Zab Judah would fuck Stevenson up. I'm sorry. That's
can
not
I
even.
Say something about?
It's ridiculous. Like what?
Can I say something about that? About Mayweather, because there's sometimes the times make the man. So what happened with Mayweather was he was desperate to become a star. I mean, even in 2001, I remember reading an article in the magazine where he was saying, "Look, Trinidad versus Hopkins. If Hopkins wants to pull out or something, I'll step in there against Trinidad." And that was when Mayweather was a lightweight. So he was desperate to get a big money fight, and it wasn't working out until 10 years into his career, De La Hoya was right there for him. So that ended up working out here. But right now for Shakur Stevenson, like if he's going to be a star, he would have to fight another star. And right now there's nobody in his vicinity. I mean, Lomachenko's not a star. Ryan Garcia maybe. But I mean, even then, we don't know if he's going to fight. So it's very hard to find somebody that could propel you to that.
The equivalent would be like him fighting Josh Taylor, because Oscar was a big deal compared to Floyd, right?
Yeah, but Josh Taylor's no De La Hoya. I mean, not even close in terms of popularity. So
but I'm talking about in perspective to who's at 135 or 140 that's even close to De La Hoya that he could fight. That's all I'm saying. So he had to fight Josh Taylor, and Josh Taylor would fucking kill him.
Or like Bud Crawford, right? Would that be like the equivalent?
Well,
sort of.
Josh Taylor, I'm not sure. Josh, I think, is a lot worse than people think. He has a really good corner, though. He has a crazy good corner. He has that one guy, Willie's Art of Boxing, in his corner. Anyone heard of that channel?
He's really a big fucking dude, right? For the weight class, he's really big. Josh Taylor.
Why do you think he's bad? What is he doing that you don't like?
Well, for one, without being told, right? A fighter like Ramirez, right? And Ramirez is a rhythm stepper, right? So before he's going on the offensive, when he transitions from like kind of backing up to going forward, he'll do like a little bounce, right? Without being told that, he was getting hit on the inside. He was getting pressured to the corner. When he got that corner advice to counter Ramirez coming in, that's when he actually dropped him, right?
Well, you know
so
what?
He doesn't have that.
So he's a good listener. He's a good listener.
Yeah,
but
it's a whole
like,
fight going on. That's why you have a corner.
What do you think about 147?
You gotta have that naturally, though. You gotta have that naturally, though. That comes from drills.
No,
that's called making adjustments. What are you talking about?
Dude, somebody's punching you in the face. A lot of that knowledge goes out the fucking window. You need somebody telling you that over and over again.
Yeah,
around.
Yeah, I agree. You need. That's what a corner's there for.
This is amateur. This is amateur talk, right? You don't know. Like, listen, if what Floyd was really good at.
You gotta have a guy from the outside. You gotta have a guy from the outside.
That's like Mike Tyson saying, like, "Oh, once I punch you, your plan goes out the window." The difference is that Mike Tyson hits. He would just hit you, you would be out, right? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
So if you got it all figured out, then why have a fucking corner? Then get rid of the fucking corners, right?
Exactly.
You gotta have.
You need a cut man. You need someone
All right, hold on, Mike. You gotta let Gonzalo finish. Yeah, Gonzalo, go ahead, man.
You gotta have somebody from the outside looking in. And sometimes when you're in the middle of the shit, you can't see from the outside perspective. It's like the bird's eye. Yeah,
you can't
it's
even
like the
process
bird's eye
it in real time. It's too much information for the brain. That's exactly why you have the fucking corner.
Listen, that's what I said in the beginning, right? Josh Taylor himself isn't as good as a fighter, but he has a really good corner. I brought that up in the beginning.
Doesn't him making
corner
that brings up
a whole other thing. I think that Keith Thurman will be way more relevant to me if we went down a weight class and fought Josh Taylor. Now I would look at him and be like, and I would recognize him as a champion.
But Keith Thurman can't go down to 140. He's really strong. But can I say something about? Can I say something about what's his name? Who we're talking about? Josh Taylor. Yeah, Josh Taylor. Here's the thing, though. His resume speaks for itself because he wiped out the division and he fought the best, and he did it in entertaining fashion, while at the same time mixing in skill. That being said, and most of us criticizing for it after the Ramirez fight, there was a little bit too much holding after the 8th round, I believe. Remember that, guys? I don't know if you guys remember the regular panelists. We were talking about how he ended up clinching a lot, and
I think that's where he nailed that uppercut, right?
Well, that was in the 5th, I believe. Yeah, it's 5th or 6th. But afterwards, Ramirez composed himself and kept going after him. And Josh Taylor was clinching a little bit too much, man. I'm not a big fan of the clinching, I got to tell you. To me, that's if you're clinching way too much, that usually means you can't handle a guy. And Kenny Bayless, like somebody in the chat said that there were a lot of bad calls in that fight. Kenny Bayless was really on a bad night that night because he was fucking up, man. And by the way, real quick, let me just read a couple super chats here. Shout out to, hold on a second, where are the super chats here? There was one, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so there's Eddie Valenzuela who says they're mishandling Benavides' career because he's Mexican, using the LBC logic, no Plant or Charlo yet. All right, that's Eddie Valenzuela's view right there. Shout out to Eddie for his contribution with the super chat. And shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution with the super chat. He says, reminder that getting invested in Shakur Stevenson versus Valdez is a promoter's trap. Neither are that good when it comes to boxing skills. Shakur has to fight smaller fights on the back foot, while as big as what? Prog Val will play nice for babyface.
Prerogative, right? I think.
I don't know if that's what he meant, man. I'm having a hard time understanding what he said at the end. But
Prograis, he's same size as Prograis. That's what he's saying.
Oh, okay, as big as Prograis Val.
Degenerate.
Prograis Val. Okay, yeah. Will play nice for babyface. Well, shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution, man. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that the Valdez, that's a good point that you guys made, because some people are saying, man, Shakur Stevenson is that good. So if he beats Valdez, who's already shown vulnerabilities, then it's not like how big a win is it then if Shakur Stevenson beats him?
Oh wait, come on, B-Day. We're not going to do this. We're always complaining about the best not fighting each other. Now we finally have the best fighting each other. We're going to say, well, he might be too small or he's already shown weaknesses. Come on now.
Well, I'm just asking a question. That's what people are saying.
It's true though. It's true though. He should be at 135. He's huge.
Well, I think Mr. BDA is saying, is this win gonna propel him into that pound for pound talk? I think is what you're saying. Right?
What I'm saying is because you guys made a good point. What I'm saying is that you guys made a good point. What I'm saying is that you guys made a good point about how Shakur Stevenson is that good and Valdez. That the reason why Stevenson is gonna win and why he's the favorite is because Valdez has already looked bad before. I'm just saying. I'm just going by what you guys said. So I'm not saying it would be a good win, but
no, I think Shakur destroys him not because Valdez has shown weaknesses or anything. I just think Shakur is that good. It's not an insult to Valdez. I just think that the skill gap is too wide.
All right, I just wanted to clarify
Shakur
that.
Destroyed.
The next Floyd? Nobody's the next Floyd.
Who has Shakur destroyed?
You said you're saying. What do you mean by destroyed?
Destroyed everybody that he faced.
I mean, 12-round domination. Like he won't even be touched.
It's like listening to Floyd say, "I'm going to beat your ass," and then he goes in and nothing happens. It's crazy to me. Like, what are we talking about right now? He's going to go in there. He's going to dance his ass around the ring. He's not going to do shit, and you know it. We all know it.
Yeah, he's not Mike Tyson. We know that.
If I can say something on the Floyd thing, he stood toe to toe with Miguel Cotto for 12 rounds and put a hellacious beating on him. And he got nothing for it. So, I mean, it's the public's fault, right? Like, he got more money for fighting soft touches, and to dance around them. People were more interested in seeing him lose than him actually. Yeah, he beat the shit out of Cotto. Go watch that fight. He stood there toe to toe and was raking him with right hands all night.
This is the problem with boxing fans. That's not getting the shit kicked out of you. The Pacquiao fight was getting the shit kicked out of you. You guys have a weird mind frame on what getting your ass kicked is. You think that's getting your ass kicked?
No, what I'm trying to say is that like his whole persona is like
I think that I know people like to say
many people talk
one at a time. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Who cares about Valdez?
Come on.
Seriously, he's gonna get his ass kicked. I mean, Floyd. Let's talk about Valdez, man. He's gonna get whooped and dominated in that fight. Can say something. If that was Shakur, right, against Valdez instead of Conceição, he would have got the decision straight up. Let's be real.
It's an interesting fight because Valdez is coming off a fight where he faced somebody that got on the back foot that was tough and tricky, amateur like Conceição, Olympic gold medalist, and then also another interesting dynamic that Reynoso trained Canelo against two back foot fighters and Billy Joe Saunders. And this recent fight against Caleb Plant. So we're going to see the trainer take Valdez into a fight against a fighter that's kind of similar in the sense that that's the type of fight that he's going to present. So it's an interesting dynamic. Why this
not similar at all, Gonzalo.
Not completely similar. Yeah, I agree. Not completely similar. But what I'm saying, he's not going to get in the pocket and exchange punches tit for tat with you. That's all. I agree with that.
I just want to say real quick, I want to throw it out to Top Rank for making this fight. Again, how many other promotions have taken two young champions and matching them up like this? Again, I would just, Bob, you can say what you want about Bob, but he's given us at least he's given us these level fights.
Yeah. But you know that Valdez is going to have to cut off the ring and chase Shakur down. Whether Shakur decides and is able to pivot and circumnavigate the ring in order to avoid Valdez that pressure, that's one thing that you guys expect him to do. But will he be able to do that? That's what I was only referring to, the type of fight.
Gonzalo, there's a misconception. Hold up. Wait, Chibi, give me 1 second. Chibi. 1 second. So there's a misconception. Shakur Stevenson is not Tevin Farmer. He's not going to get on the back foot all night and just run around the ring. He knows how to walk people down too, and he'll probably do a little bit of both against Valdez.
If there's resistance,
I don't think he'll do any of that. I think he's going to be on the back foot all night. He's not going to go toe to toe with them at all. He won't.
I think he will.
All night, man. I'm trying to tell you, he's going to bring all the smoke.
what about
Stevenson has
Hey, one at a time, please. One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, you gotta do it one at a time, guys. As much as possible, do it one at a time. I know there's a lot of people, and sometimes we might miss somebody talking, but try to be mindful.
What about Shakur tells you from the fights in his past that he's going to be able to like walk Valdez down? It's not like he's shown it like at all in his career, Like, yeah, he's got fast hands. He can put combos together, but he seems very limited to outside boxing. Like, you're just talking about boxing skills. This guy pales into comparison to like past guys that have on the come at. Even Haney is able to keep guys on the outside, relatively speaking, and Shakur only knows how to pot shot when a guy puts their high guard in front of him. So, like,
you gonna learn.
Well, listen, like I said, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, he can fight in, he can fight out. He has great movement. He can stand in front of you and still don't get hit. Like, bro, like I said, and then I remember y'all said something earlier about when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna do better in the next fight." I thought when he said that, he said, "I'm gonna do better the next round." Because everybody takes take a loss on the round sometimes. So I didn't.
That's not what he said.
The fight was over.
That's not what he said. Yeah, the fight was over. There weren't extra rounds. But listen, anyway, fellas, listen.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta go. But as always, you guys can stay on the call here on the voice channel and keep on talking. It's just you're not going to be on the air. But shout out to all of you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. And by the way, can I just say one thing? Try to, when you come on here, try to have a good headset and stay close to it. Don't use Bluetooth or something like that, because I think that's what usually has the problem. Because some people sound louder than others. And when we talk over each other, some people actually, I don't know if it's cross, and some people get drowned out. So try to have a stick as close to your microphone as possible and have the volume set at a correct.
Because at the end of the day, this is a show, right?
Yeah, there's people listening, and I want everybody out there to be able to hear what you guys have to say, but at the same, without having to fucking tear their hair off because everyone's talking over each other. But I thought it was a good show, man. You guys did a good job, and I thought it was a pretty interesting. What? Who's okay? Who is it? Who wants to go?
So sorry, BDA. Sorry, and another reason that things get fucked up because some people just don't care, right? They'll just keep talking over you.
Yeah, that's the only problem. We have to be cognizant of that. There's people out there listening, and we want them to be able to listen to the conversation. So, but anyway, you guys did a good job today. I love the conversation. We'll do it again next week, and that's about it, man. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show out there as well. Don't forget, you can check us out on Spreaker, iTunes, and Spotify. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Don't forget to check out the video we did about Demetrius Andrade, about how good he is and what he could do against Canelo Alvarez. You guys, like I said, you guys are free to stay on the voice channel. And all of you guys out there, you can still join the Discord and come in and talk a little boxing here, a little late night boxing talk. And that's about it, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Catch you on the next one. Shout out to people in the chat. Lucky Zim, Coco the Bulldog, Mark Lagunas, Hard Times, Brandon Lee, Jarvis Bickle, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, AJR, No Se, Don Ramon Champ, Reverend Pickles, and all of you guys in the panel here. Thank you guys for joining us. Real appreciate